What is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 50. Boys, we're old
Especially
now.
over the hill.
We're dead.
I mean, we're not dead, but we're getting there, you know. Like,
we're dead.
fucking, if you're dead at 50, we got worse issues than we do right now, bro.
We're dead.
Got some artery conditions, you know.
Oh, we definitely got artery clogging. All the yelling and stress and shit we go through, fucking anger and salt and veins toxicity that runs through all
That's
of our
just
bodies.
you. That's legit.
Whatever.
Just you.
Fuck you, man. But welcome in, everybody, to a proud moment, but also a sad moment. We're not able to celebrate with Scruffy. We are down one person. Scruff is under the weather, so everybody needs to send his good vibes. Send good vibes to him. Either live in the chat now, or whenever you're listening to it, send him good vibes. I'm sure he could use them later on as well. He's a man bun kind of having guy, so he needs all the good vibes that he can possibly get. So, but big episode. It's episode 50. We've been doing this for a while now, and I think 50 is a milestone. I know for all of us, this podcast has been something that we've looked forward to and enjoyed. And I think I speak for everybody here, and including Scruffy, in saying that we really do just thoroughly love coming in and talking, even though we get heated sometimes and all that kind of stuff, like with whether it's in chat with you guys or whether we're discussing it and amongst ourselves. We really do have a good time coming here and just hanging out and hopefully giving you all a space to just feel like you're getting honest, content creator, video game, feedbacks, feelings, info, versus being something that is, scripted or, we have to be careful or what. No, like we are very raw and real here. So
Raw.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unlike
like-
NFTs, which are a figment of our imagination, and schemazes.
We're like Sunday Night Wrestling. We're raw.
raw. Isn't that
Wasn't-
Monday
wasn't
night?
that, wasn't that what it was called?
It's Monday.
I was always more of a SmackDown
Monday.
fan
That
myself.
was
Monday night.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw. Great. Now we're gonna get sued by the WWE, so that's great. Congratulations, Bill. You're gonna get demonetized, or before you get monetized. By the way, guys, Bill, use this platform right now. Shout it out. Let's get you there. Come on, shout it out.
I need 12 more subscribers to reach my 500 subscriber goal by the end of 2021. So if anybody is not subscribed to the channel, maybe go watch a video or two, see if it syncs up to what you like, and hit the sub button if you like it.
Oh, come on, we can do better. Guys, this man does some of the best Dark Souls content that you're going to find. He's going to give you some of the best mods and all that kind of stuff that you're going to find out there. Go click on him. Look at his face. Look at him. Look, listen to his sexy voice. You want to hear that all the time. Go subscribe, click the bell, hit the like button. Get this man to 500.
Smash the like button.
Don't just tell a friend. Grab their phone, grab their tablet, hit the button for them.
Don't smash the dislike button because you're not gonna see it anyways. But
I see it and it'll make me sad, and that's worse than not seeing it at all.
Yeah, well, let's not make Bill sad. So, but come on,
Thank
guys.
you guys. Yeah.
It's Billy_the_SKWID. Go check out his videos. He's got a backlog of content that is amazing when it comes to Souls stuff. I leave him up.
Elden Ring content, and the game's not even out yet, so just imagine what it's going to be like when the game does come out.
And you're gonna want to hop on this Bill train before. I'm just saying, before Elden Ring comes on, because when it does, it's gonna blow up, and you're gonna be like sitting there, just kind of sitting on your thumb. So
let's be real. The only reason why Ludwig is currently peeling a fucking egg on YouTube is because he's waiting on Bill's next video.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the only reason why he baits his time, and he's just like, oh, he's fiending for it.
Absolutely. But in
Thank
any
you,
case, guys, welcome in episode 50, pre-patch podcast. This show's gonna be a little bit different. We are going to forego talking about any kind of drama, any kind of Twitch news, YouTube news, anything like that. Even though, trust me, Enigma is hot right now. He's a little heated. He's a little tempered. It's turned up just a little bit with Final Fantasy, but it's okay.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Oh, that's worse. That's that statement that you'd never want to get from your dad, right?
I'm the Zac Efron of Final Fantasy 14 currently.
You know what, Square? I'm not upset. I'm not mad. I'm not angry.
I'm mad.
I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, so we're not gonna do all that. We're gonna literally only be talking about the Game Awards, and if we have time afterward, we may, jockey around for other kind of, topics, stuff like that. But for the most part, it's gonna be all gaming awards. We're gonna go and use the categories that were presented at the official 2021 Game Awards that Jeff Keighley hosted, and you could have watched live on Twitch or YouTube. Yeah, so that's kind of what our show is going to be. We're going to talk about their winners and what they picked and their kind of selections, and if we do have our own we have our own to throw in there and talk about, we're also going to do that as well. I know Scruffy has remotely sent in his Game of the Year pick on there, so I will throw that in when we get to it. But while you're in chat, and if you're here live, like I said, we do this live every other Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Across all of our channels. You guys can give us, we want your opinions too. We want to know what you guys think, right? We're going to interact and engage with you. If you aren't listening to us live and you are catching us on one of our, one of your downloadable podcast apps or whatever that you use, thank you. But you can hit !show in all of our channels, or !podcast in all of our channels. I forget which one it is. It's one of those two.
Shows the multi-link podcast is the
there you go.
Anchor link.
Podcast will give you the Anchor link that will
get it right, Sid.
Yeah, you know what?
Come on.
I've done 50. I've done 50 of these.
How many SUs is this? 50?
Well, okay. To be fair, we've only used the Anchor link. It's not been 50 episodes, so I still got some buffer. Give me some time. I still got a couple episodes. So anyway,
it's pretty easy. What is it?
Hey, Anchor.fm/prepatch podcast.
There you go.
So I have that. I just don't have the fucking command. You get one or the other, man. Look, choose. Damn it. But anyway, yeah. So we're gonna jump right into it, guys. Thank you all for being here. And I closed out of the tab that had all this shit open. So fill it with space, guys. I need to get this tab back. Start singing a song or something. Enigma, go sing.
No.
What?
No.
Okay, Bill.
If you're happy and you know it, snort some G Fuel.
Whoa. Is that allowed on the tubes? Can you say that on the YouTube?
If you're happy and you know.
All right, I got it.
Puppy.
Oh, did you say stomp a puppy?
Pet a puppy.
Pet a puppy.
I was about to say, if you said stomp a puppy, we're gonna have some issues right here. Right now.
Oh man. By the way,
puppy.
Scruffy did get a new dog. He got a new puppers.
He did get a new dog.
Okay.
Cute. I've yet to see it yet, but I'm sure it's cute.
I think it's
So
over in his Discord if you want to take a look.
we're not going to go over content creator of the year. We're not going to go over best esports athlete, esports.
Well, that's because we already know
esports event.
we already know who content creator of the year is. It's obviously Prepatch Podcast,
Right?
And the Prepatch team.
Yeah, exactly.
know
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why we got bowed out because we didn't think it was fair. We've won 3 years in a row, guys. So I mean, at this point, it was just like, you know what? Let Dream have it. Even though he cheated. So in real life, he cheated. Like he's a cheater. But anyway. We're gonna go from bottom up. So most anticipated game. This was, I think, one of their last categories up to the game of the year. So, and this game, the game that won it has now won it 2 years in a row. Bill, I'm sure, is going to agree that this deserves it. It is their Starfield, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Which is that confirmed that that's a 2022 game? I don't think that's 2022.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that basically what they're basing it off of is if they have like 22 in the title or in the in the release date, doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily release on that day. Because if you remember, Cyberpunk was nominated for.
It is a
those
2022 title. It has not been delayed to 2023 yet.
Yeah, yes,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
General release date of December 2022 expected.
Oh, it's gonna be delayed. If it's December, it's gonna be delayed. So we've got Starfield, the sequel to the Legend Breath of the Wild 2, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Elden Ring 1. Do you
I mean,
so? Do you think, first off, before we say whether or not we agree on the choice of the winner, kind of the way I envision this kind of going is discussing one, the picks that are in there. Do you think they're valid? Not necessarily going through each one, but whether the picks are valid that are there, and then two, the winner. If you think that the winner is correct, and then if you have any additional things you wanted to add in there that thinks that it should trump that. So
Starfield, I don't think deserves a spot on that list. I don't know anybody who's excited for Starfield.
I don't even know if Starfield. I don't think Starfield's gonna be 2022.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a
I'm not-
2022. Like what we were saying, Elden Ring won it
It
2
just
years
has
in
to
a row,
have
and
the current, yeah.
it was never slated for a 2021 launch. So
I thought it was, and then it got pushed 3 months.
no, they didn't even have a release date for it when it won the first time. It had literally one trailer out for it.
Oh,
Again, it's the same thing with like Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk won most anticipated for multiple years, and they didn't have a fucking release date for a long time.
okay. So, all right, I would agree. I think Starfield's bullshit. I don't think anybody is excited about. I mean, okay, I think people are excited about Starfield. I don't think it's the most anticipated game.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's people out there that are excited for Starfield. They're stupid because if
You're fucking
it's a
dumb.
Bethesda game,
Tell them how you really feel.
it's a Bethesda game, and you're just gonna get more Bethesda bullshittery. But I'm sure there are people out there that are extremely.
I think
excited for
CD Projekt Red is excited for Starfield, so that hopefully
I
they can
think
take
they
some of the
are, too.
heat off of fucking them for Cyberpunk.
Well, I mean, Cyberpunk's getting mostly positive reviews now. So
Well, yeah. Now, I mean, it's actually I've watched some of the stuff that they are doing in this and with Cyberpunk, and they've actually improved quite a bit.
they have. Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily most anticipated game of the year. I really don't think that people are all that interested in Starfield.
is there a game that you guys would have placed in here to take? So we're saying Starfield probably could come off. I have a game that I would have put in here. I don't know. I think maybe because it is so close to being around the corner that it wouldn't. I don't know if it would necessarily fit in here, but for me, like Lost Ark would go in here, and Lost Ark would win it for me. But I also don't know if Lost Ark fits
Lost
in this
Ark's
category.
not a new game though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lost Ark's not new though.
It is new for us.
It's new for the West, but it's been released.
Congratulations.
Well, it doesn't say recognizing an announced game that has this is saying recognizing an
That
announced
would be
game
like
that.
me saying Resident Evil 4 virtual reality deserves most anticipated.
Well, why not? Yeah. Well, actually, I think that Resident Evil 4 is a newer. I mean, that is a new game that's been built from the ground up for the VR. So, I mean, I would say that actually could go in here. I get your
Wrong.
understanding of
And I love Resident Evil.
that game was completely different than the Resident Evil that you get.
We had this conversation 2 years ago when Resident Evil 2 was up for Game of the Year, or Resident Evil 2 Remake was up for Game of the Year.
Right, but Resident Evil 4 VR is so
and
different.
that one was more deserving of an award than what this would have been. It's way more deserving of an award than what Lost Ark is, because Lost Ark.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
Fucking ever.
You watch your bearded,
I'm not saying
beautiful
Lost
mouth.
Ark's a bad game. I'm just saying that it's been.
He's just
out-
saying it's never coming out.
Shut up, man. I need Scruffy. Scruffy, can you please take some vitamin C and get your ass on
Lost
here?
Ark's been out since 2018. That's a 4-year-old game, bud.
Not here. It's not been here. Like, that's not fair. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right. So apparently my opinion doesn't fucking matter. So Lost Ark doesn't get to go on here. Is there something you would put in replacing of Starfield?
Hey, this is yours, sir. If you want to put Lost Ark on there, you are welcome.
Yeah,
to
you can
do
put
so.
Lost
All right.
Ark.
Yeah, Lost Ark's on here, and Lost Ark's better than Elden Ring. So fuck off.
Elden Ring's not even out yet.
It's gonna be
Lost
better.
Ark's been out for 4 years.
Anyway, is there a game that I repeat? Is there a game that you guys would like to put on here other than Starfield?
The
I mean,
relaunch of New World once they pull that game down and remake it like they did Final Fantasy: A Realm
Yeah,
Reborn.
that's not good.
Because I have a feeling that's what's going to end up happening, or they're
I
going to
don't
scrap the
think so.
project
They're going to
altogether.
scrap the project before they relaunch it. Boo boo. I hate to tell you this.
Yeah, that game's going away. What is the and actually we need to add that as a segment to the show. Is like
What's going on with
like New World's tracking New World's
World?
numbers like player base. What is Enigma? Can you give us the update on where New World's player base is right now? What's the number
I
at?
don't fucking know, man. It's low. That's all I know.
What do we know about Starfield? Nothing. We don't know shit about Starfield. except for
Yeah,
It's by
I don't know.
Bethesda.
I can't think of anything that I would personally put in place right there other than maybe Evil West. I'm kind of in, and I'm kind of excited for Evil West, and I know that's coming out in 2022, but it's like right at the start of 2022 if I remember correctly.
I'm surprised that they didn't do like Hellblade 2. Like I mean that's I know
Yeah.
we watched that and that was
Or even a Plague Tale. Like I'm surprised that Plague Tale wasn't on this because
Both of
I
those
know
are
a
too
lot of
niche,
people.
though.
But I know a lot of people that like so is Starfield. That's the thing is like Starfield is extremely niche. It's a space exploration RPG. Like it's
I'm
a very
extremely
niche.
excited about Hellblade 2, though. Like, I loved Hellblade 1.
yeah,
That
I'm
game
excited
is
about it as well.
amazing.
I was trying to tell
Oh.
Enigma because we were watching it live. I streamed it on my
No.
channel and it came up. And the one thing I will say is that they did kind of do like this is all in-game footage, and it's like no,
Yeah.
most of this is scripted. This is like not really in-game. Like it may be using an in-game engine, but it's still.
Well, they didn't say it
a
all. They didn't say it was all
cinematic.
in-game footage. They said it was all in-game gameplay. It was all gameplay, and I'm like, that's not gameplay. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, it was
I
not.
mean,
None
it's
of that was
gameplay,
gameplay.
it's gameplay laced with cutscenes. It's one of those
Nah,
like
bro.
running.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I
100%
100%
that
believe
was
that
not gameplay.
the spear throwing and
Nah,
all that
boo-boo.
stuff is gameplay.
But
crazy.
I was telling them that you have to play like normally in most games I don't tell you like you need to play like the first one to understand the second one. Like you can kind of jump in. For most stuff it's
You
okay.
got to
You got to
for
play
this
the
one.
first one, and it really is a good game. Like the first one is a very it did
Play with headphones on.
yeah it does a and I'm not gonna ruin the story even though it's a very old game. Well, no, it's pretty old. It's an older game. The story is everything in there, and like they do such a good job of like there's twists. I'm just gonna say that there's twists in that game that are done very very well. Like and the undertone of what
agree.
they're trying to tell you in that, and like the story they're trying to tell you through the way that they do it, is phenomenal. So it's a very
Plus,
good
it's
game.
a shorter game. It's only like 6 or so hours. So
Yeah. But I can see.
By the way, about New World, we're at 10,000 players average.
Ooh! Oh
Ouch.
Or,
God!
sorry, not 10,000, 100,000 players average.
It's still
Yeah,
bad.
it's still
peak-
pretty
Still
bad.
fucking bad.
Peak of 200,000, considering they were at a 400 player
Almost a half a
average
million,
and
yeah.
almost 1,000 peak at launch,
Dude,
or
yeah.
1 million peak.
Yeah,
at
I'd say
launch.
that's like a 97% fucking drop in player base. That's crazy.
Rough.
That's rough. But also too like is it Forspoken or Forgotten? What's that one game they showed off?
The Square Enix game.
Yeah,
Forspoken, yeah.
That game looks
actually
fucking
looks pretty decent.
good. That game looks really good. Okay, so obviously, Bill, Elden Ring, I'm assuming is your most anticipated game, right?
Oh yeah,
That's-
man.
yep.
You know me. I'm like I said. That
It would be
my whole
blasphemous.
YouTube channel's been built on Elden Ring content, and the game's not even out yet. So
Are
I can
you
say I care a little bit.
are you worried about the hype for this? Do you think that it can
Nah.
deliver to everything that it is built up to be?
I think it'll be fine. No game's gonna live up to the hype that is surrounding it, but I do think this is gonna be From Software's best project to date. I have very high hopes that it's going to have a pretty decent longevity to it.
Do you
The
think
network test player feedback was extremely positive, with the exception of some PvP aspects, but that's always going to be the
Ooh.
case.
That's actually a good point. One of the viewers Sigma just put up Dying Light 2. That's actually I didn't even think about that. That is
Yeah.
coming out next year.
I know of quite a few people that are excited about Dying Light.
So
2.
do I.
same?
I think
yeah,
I'll
Elden
change
Ring-
mine to that. Honestly, like Dying Light 2, I think is far more anticipated than fucking Starfield.
What were you gonna say, Bill, about Elden Ring?
I don't think the hype's going to matter. And From Software always does, like, there's a reason that they market the way they do. They have years in between marketing stunts, and they tend to localize all of their marketing like in the last 3 to 4 months of before the game comes out. They don't need to generate hype because the community does it for them, but it'll be good.
You think we're gonna see penises? Because it's George R. Martin. I'm just saying.
No,
Penis.
No penises. Alright.
nah, no
think-
Conan Exiles character customization up in here.
I think you're gonna be seeing the giantest of schlongs.
just swinging from one of the bosses.
Just
fucking-
swinging, bro.
It's like a guillotine. You got to
Listen,
dodge it.
Who needs
Did
a
you-
club when you got the club of all clubs between the thighs?
Did you guys ever play Dante's Inferno?
Yes, I did. Yes, I know what you're talking
there's a
about.
giant long swinging boss in that game.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Oh man,
It's gonna happen, man. George R. R. Martin's got like an infatuation with dicks, dude.
dude,
It's gonna happen.
Dante's Inferno is actually a really good game. It's a game that doesn't get a lot of credit for a lot of things, but it's actually a really good game as well.
It's pretty solid for a God of War clone. It's very good.
Yeah.
And just so we're clear, if you got an infatuation with dicks, that's fine. You do you, boo boo. I'm just saying it's a little weird, okay? The amount of
No,
times dicks was
speaking of
referred to inside of fucking Game of Thrones is insane. That was a lot. Okay, that was a lot. I read all the books and I watched the fucking TV series. It was a lot.
Maybe you have an infatuation with penises, Enigma.
No, bro.
Speaking of George R. Did you guys watch the story trailer for Elden Ring?
No. I only watched whatever they showed at the Game Awards now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
You can definitely tell Mr. Martin has his hand on the writing team for that one just by the the
Well-
way the narrative is like.
Well, we know where his
driven.
other hands at.
Oh my god. Anyway, okay,
The-
Enigma.
the whole Warring Kingdoms what's when you kill the king? It's not patricide, but what is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's betrayal, there's Warring Kingdoms, there's instead of a throne, it's a ring. It's very Martin.
Is it-
and
is
I
it-
think that's
is it-
okay.
Is it the
Regicide,
Elden
thank you.
Ring?
It is.
Is-
It is
yep.
the Elden Ring.
There you go. Okay, well, Enigma, is there anything on here that you would choose over Elden Ring, or do you think it rightfully deserves the most anticipated game of the year?
I mean, out of those picks, yeah, I think it's the better option out of those picks.
Even after God of War Ragnarok, huh?
I'm not excited for God of. I'm not going to be able to play God of War Ragnarok, bro. Like,
Yes, you are. It's coming to PC.
yeah, like in 3 years.
Okay, well, that doesn't change the fact that you'll still be able to play it. Anyway,
No, I'm not that excited for Ragnarok. The way the choices, the design choices that they did for the Norse mythology, I'm not.
Okay.
From what I've seen, at least right now, I'm not too impressed with it. But I could
Speaking
change my
of-
mind.
Just came out on PC. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrated came out to PC.
Yeah.
finally.
no. It
Yeah,
came out. It
on-
came out to the Epic Store. That you can't
On
say it
Epic
came out to
Store
PC.
exclusive.
That's not
Yeah.
fair. That's not fair. It came out to the Epic Store, not PC. That's two completely different things.
I'm pissed
Listen.
about that. Let's just put it that way. Like, because I was convinced that they were not going to do that, pull that bullshit, and then they did, and I'm like, really
I
showing
thought they
your-
weren't either.
really showing
it's a-
your bullshittery there, aren't you, fucking
Is
Square?
it a 1-year exclusive on Epic?
No, I
Is
don't
that
think
what-
so. They haven't said
is
anything
it
about
just-
it on exclusivity. Yeah. I mean, it could be. We don't know, but
It'll be the first Final Fantasy game that's not on Steam, if that's the case.
Which also, it's can't go on the sale going on right now, which is very odd. It's like there's a Steam sale for all the Final Fantasy shit. That would have hit right there. It wouldn't have gone on sale, I don't think, but maybe. But it's not. It's so. I have
Give me
watched
one
videos.
sec.
I've watched videos of it. It is. There are some. It's not performing the way that like people thought it was. Like as far as like graphically, like it performs better on a PlayStation than what it is on this.
Because
Most
it was handmade for
PlayStation.
PlayStation to make sense.
But yeah,
Plus, if you know Final Fantasy ports to fucking PC, Square does not port its Final Fantasies very well at
Square doesn't
all
port
to PC.
anything at all very well.
so. All right, moving on. Best multiplayer game. So the category or the games up here were Back for Blood, It Takes Two. Somehow Knockout City got in here. I don't know how the fuck that got in there. Knockout
Wait,
City,
What category is this?
best multiplayer game.
Okay.
Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, Valheim. It's Take Two. Okay, It's Take Two was the winner. In
Takes
this, It Takes Two was the winner.
It's an interesting choice considering that it's a 2-player co-op multiplayer.
Yeah.
It is technically multiplayer, but it's an interesting choice for this category at the very
Well,
least.
So
honestly
what were the-
think-
What were the topics again? What were they?
that was Back for the topics or what the category
The
games.
games in the category,
Back for Blood, It Takes Two,
Mhm.
Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, Valheim.
They just made so many shitty choices. Holy fuck.
So one, I'm surprised Valheim actually though I think I would have taken Valheim over. I definitely would have taken it over It Takes Two. I think It Takes Two. I don't think It Takes Two deserves the win on this personally. I do understand it's a very good it's a well put together game, but I've also watched Scruffy try to play co-op. It doesn't, and it breaks and it doesn't work as seamless as it's supposed to. When it does work, it works well, but it's not like it's innovative or does anything new or different. Like it's a co-op game where one person has to go do something, the other person has to go do something to make sure that the one person can go do this, right? So there was a Yarn game that PlayStation had a while back that then came to PC that does this. There's been a lot of games that have done this style of like co-op. So I don't think that it's on there. It should win that.
I to be completely honest, like It Takes Two for me this year was like The Last of Us 2 last year. I think it got a lot of it got a lot of awards that I don't think it was justifiably, it should have gotten,
I mean, I thought Life is Strange was going to be that because Life is Strange.
I did too,
won,
honestly. Like I 100% like I think that the game of the year I was like, oh, 100% it's gonna be Life is Strange, but I was actually extremely surprised.
Yeah. So
And I do think it Takes Two is a much better gaming representative than what Last of Us 2 was previously.
Yeah.
Right.
At the very least, at least it's a good game.
I just don't think that like. Okay, well, let's go through this. Is there a game on here we don't think deserves to be here and we would take out?
It Takes
Most
Two.
of them.
Okay, so, all right.
I think It Takes the only games that I think deserve to be on there are Valheim and Monster Hunter Rise. I think the rest of them are.
You don't think Back for Blood deserves to be on there?
I guess if
You don't think Monster
I
Hunter
wish that
Rise
game.
deserves
I
to
just
be
wish
on?
that game. Huh?
You don't think Monster Hunter Rise deserves?
No, he does.
That's what I said.
No,
I said Monster Hunter Rise and Valheim.
Oh,
Back
okay.
4 Blood can stay too. It is. I just wish that game came out in a little better condition than what it did.
Yeah, I wish it came out cheaper than it did too. Like I think that's the biggest issue that it had was it had a really big barrier of entry for like price.
If they wanted to go for a niche multiplayer game, I would replace It Takes Two with Deathloop. I think that's got a more interesting multiplayer aspect to it than what It Takes Two
I agree
does.
with that. I would actually agree with that. Yeah, I think that definitely had a different take on the normal two player co-op.
It at least tried something different. And say what you want about that game and its like stability and whatnot, but the multiplayer was at least fun, even if it did come. It came 2 months after the game launched, right? The Invasion multiplayer.
No, it was open right off the gate.
Was it open right off the gate? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Deathloop. Oh, man, I like what they did, but I think the multiplayer was just something that I actually would probably say, even though I really enjoyed Deathloop and it is like one of my favorite games this year, I don't know if I'd put it in here because I don't think the multiplayer. Like to me, the multiplayer did seem forced in a lot of ways. Like it was like they had the story of what they wanted.
About. They built the entire game around that multiplayer interaction.
But but the interaction itself felt forced. Like it wasn't as like though the concept was there.
Narratively.
No, not narrative. Like it's really not. It's like the mechanics of the way that the game, like the multiplayer function. Like I think they had on paper, it was like this is what we want to do. We want to build a game around this, right? But then the outcome of what we got was not as smooth as like the narrative, the storytelling, and like the polish and everything else seemed around it. It just seemed very.
I don't see any polish in that game overall, honestly. I think it's a fun sandboxy type game. It's got like a lot of jank, kind of like what the Dishonored games did. And I think that's fine. It's fine for that style game.
Yeah,
Personally, I haven't played the game, but from watching it and from seeing people talking about it, I think you're in a minority on this one.
I very well maybe. I just don't think that personally. I wouldn't put it in as a best multiplayer experience.
I think it tried something different, and it at least deserves to be in the contention, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what this is about. Is kind of what you guys would put in here.
I also
I
put
don't know.
Mario Golf in there too.
To me, like one
low-key.
one thing that we've got in the chat is like definitely dependent on people who were willing to get to be there and be doing the PvP, right? It Takes Two requires the same thing. It Takes two people that are there and willing to fucking play together. Like that, the 100%. It's the same. It's essentially the same thing. You're just not doing it as a what's it called? Like you're not being match made with different people, right?
The other comment too that was made was that It Takes Two goes through like hits on like IRL issues. That's got nothing to do with the multiplayer. Like that's not what like I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
That's
this
not, like,
isn't this isn't about,
we're not talking about.
This isn't about like impact or anything like that or a message.
Right. This is just the multiplayer
co-op multiplayer
right
experiences.
I
It has
don't
nothing to do with the entirety of the game and the systems and the
like the story. I don't care. The
political
narrative I don't
whatever.
necessarily care as much about. Like when talking about this specific category. Like to me, this category should be filled with games that are like fucking COD and what I mean that
I
like
agree.
this is your multiplayer
Red
games.
Solstice.
What is it?
Red Solstice didn't release in 2001
Oh,
or
was it
2000
not 20?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, and actually, like to me, Tribes of Midgard should be in here. Like I think
Yeah.
Tribes of Midgard should be considered in
I would
this.
I would actually personally put that in there myself. I would personally remove
Especially
It
Knockout
Takes
City.
Two.
Fuck Knockout
Yeah, I was
City.
about to say I would personally remove It Takes Two, Knockout City.
I would put
and
Battlefield
honestly,
in here.
honestly, like Valheim, I would remove Valheim too because like they haven't really done anything new this year.
Well, isn't Valheim
Yeah.
early access as well? Which I guess
It is, but again, they haven't done anything new. Nothing. The only thing that they did this year was bring out that patch that literally added in like 20 more fucking items that you can craft. Right, like that's all they did.
Yeah.
I feel bad that there's no fighting game on this list. Usually the multiplayer always has at least one fighting game on here.
Guilty. So I was actually going to bring up Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah, exactly.
Guilty Gear Strive. I think so. Like I would have taken out Knockout City. I like Valheim. I don't think New World deserves to be in this fucking thing at all. Like I would have taken New World
It's
fucking out of
literally
it.
an
I see
MMO.
why.
It deserves to be
Yeah.
in there.
I see why it's in there. It was.
I
one
don't
of the
think it
bigger,
is-
most anticipated MMOs that was out this year.
I don't think
I
it-
don't.
Okay, I don't think
I
it
don't think it
deserves
was
to
worth
be
it.
in this category. Like I understand why it's here, like because it's a multiplayer game. But if we're saying like out of the best multiplayer
What's
that here,
the
like
category title? Sen?
no. What I'm saying is, if I have to choose 5 fucking game or 6 fucking games to be in this list, New World is not going to be in there. Like I mean, realistically, like I even like chat has said Battlefield. I would not put Battlefield in this because I don't think that Battlefield has a lot of issues when it launched. Like, so I don't think it deserves to be as in the contention for best multiplayer game. Like I think that there are other games that did multiplayer better than New World, obviously. I mean, I think that
You're tripping, dog. Like, yeah, the game is in a rough spot, but whenever that game came out, it was like what Enigma said. It's the most anticipated MMO this year. It is still like it deserves to be in there. It just does.
I disagree.
I see what both of you are saying. Like I can see on both sides. Yes, it was the most anticipated MMO of the year, right? Like everybody was fucking playing it, right? But I can also see it from Sin's side where it was the most anticipated MMO of the year, but it was a terrible fucking MMO, and I don't think it deserves to be on the list. 100%.
I mean,
I completely agree with that. I don't think it should have been on the list personally, but I can see why it is on the list.
It's the same thing of like COD. Like I don't think COD deserves to be on this list because COD it came out busted, broken, and it was a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So like, if I'm having to select like the best of the best, in my opinion, to really do a contender, like, I think Back for Blood's fine. I mean, I don't really think It Takes Two should be in there because I don't think it did anything great and special. I think Tribes of Midgard would have been there, and honestly, I think Tribes of Midgard probably actually would have been my pick. I think Tribes of Midgard did some really cool shit. I think it was a very fun time. And yeah, I mean, to me, that Tribes of Midgard actually probably would have been a winner for me.
I agree with you on that one. I think the Tribes of Midgard currently is one of the better, at least co-op experiences that you can get out there that are indie in development, and with their latest updates where they're starting to push into like the sea serpents and shit. They're getting sailing and everything in it. They just continuously impress me with like continuing to provide extra content to it. So
Yep. So,
I probably
That's
would
what I
have put
would've
Deathloop
picked.
myself.
yep. Would you
But
you put Deathloop as
but
the winner?
I like the individuality of it. I like the like trying something different. Like that kind of multiplayer is something that brings me a lot of joy. That's part of the reason why I like Souls style multiplayer is because there's no other game that does multiplayer
No.
like it.
There's no would you have said Deathloop as the winner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my pick, just because of the ebb and flow of what they set up with that and how it kind of ties into the narrative as a whole and stuff. I think it's really neat.
Now for this category next year, will you put Elden Ring in this category?
Oh, you already know it, baby.
Okay. All right. Next year, Elden Ring's.
Un-
When we do this, Elden Ring's gonna be
unless
like
the,
best sim game, Elden Ring. Best racing game, Elden Ring.
unless
Bill's gonna be-
unless the multiplayer is like what Bloodborne multiplayer was, that just made me super sad. But I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Okay. Best sim strategy game. This actually, I think to be 100% honest, I think they nailed it. I think they nailed the categories. I think they nailed the winner. I kind of can bow out on this one, but it was Microsoft Flight Simulator, Inscription, Humankind, Evil Geniuses 2, World Domination, and Age of Empires 4. Again, so everybody understands, best sim strategy. This is the best game that focuses on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. And let me explain, because I've had this question come up before about why Microsoft Flight Simulator is in this category, because it's technically not they don't look at it as like a strategy game. Though it's a simulator game, it's not considered a strategy game.
Simulation.
The sim strategy, like they focus very heavily. Like if you looked at any of these, like they're all strategy based games. Here's the thing, Microsoft. If you've ever played Microsoft Flight Simulator, that motherfucking game is a strategy game. It is you
Yeah,
versus
most
that plane, and so it's either the
You
plane's gonna
literally
win.
You literally have to know how to fly the fucking plane. Like,
Yeah, but a lot of people have come in and been like, it doesn't deserve to be in there. And if we're gonna include this, and we have to start including like all of the different simulator games, like we need to include gas station simulator and all this other kind of stuff.
Farming
yeah,
sim,
okay with
Yeah,
that.
or whatever else. But I'm saying I have
power wash sim.
I'm okay with it.
Oh God, lawn mowing sim. It would just be
I'm
nothing
okay
but
with
just
it,
like
yeah.
just no. You're not tainting my fucking
Yeah,
best
no,
sim
I am
strategy.
100%. I'm okay with it.
The Microsoft Flight Simulator really is I will challenge someone to say it is a strategy game. I've watched it played. And it's actually a very relaxing game to watch being played.
The thing is like with the strategy aspect to it, like you can, yeah, there is a setting to where you can just have it as an arcade, so you just fly around in the plane, right? Like it's not insanely high tech on the arcade game, but like there is, if you push to have those settings on, like you have to not only like map your fucking progress, like your trip, you have to make sure you have enough fuel for it. You have to make sure that all of your checks and bells and whistles are dotted and all that bullshit before you even take off. Like it's 100% a simulation game, like a very
Is-
very heavy simulation
Is
game.
Microsoft
I
Flight
would-
Simulator the metaverse? I mean, because like you can take the game, you have to plot it, and then what they should do is add a mod into it. So if your plane crashes, it then turns into a survival game. And then
it loads up the forest.
it
Is that what
looks,
you're
yeah, you just now you're in the forest. That would be dope. And it's coming to VR, which is awesome. And on top of that, that game alone, like the mod community for it is insane as well. Like they have modded in multiplayer and all this other kind. I mean, it's crazy. So it's nuts. So anyway, do you guys? The one that won this was Age of Empires 4, which I've not played. Again, I've watched it being played on numerous. I've put it probably about 15 hours worth of watch time on it. I love Age of Empires. I think it deserved it. I think it was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think it deserved.
Anybody?
I would win with Inscription.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can see that too. Why you'd?
Yeah, Inscription again. I guess I just like things that are outside of the box on that aspect. And while I understand it's not as in depth and like, it's not as strategically in depth as some of the other games, there is enough strategy there to push it. And I think that the like overarching other gameplay mechanics like add a lot to it.
Inscription. You want to describe Inscription? Let me actually, while you're doing this, let me.
So
Some of these games I
it's
do want to show off because I think it deserves to be shown.
oh yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a one of a kind experience. Again, Inscription. It's a deck builder game inside of a escape room game, for lack of better wording. The main gameplay loop of it is uh, a roguelike deck builder, kind of similar to Slay the Spire, but within that universe, as you play, win, or play and fail, you are inside of this cabin and you're trying to find a way to like basically cut the loop off, stop the cycle from going on. And it's an escape room. There's a lot of puzzles that you need to interact with. You won't be able to get everything done on your first run. You need to find and do specific things within each run to unlock different things in the cabin, and then you need to go find in the cabin what you unlocked, because it doesn't necessarily tell you what you unlocked. And all of this forms together into honestly a horror style game that doesn't take itself too seriously, but it definitely does have that like horror aspect to it.
Yeah, what you guys
It's
are
a really cool blend of games.
what you guys are seeing here. This is the trailer for it. And it really is. I mean, it's from what I've watched of it, like it's a very, very, very like in-depth game. The only reason I have not picked it up and actually played it because this is right up my alley. Like I love card games, I love strategy games, and I love like these indie style types of games. Is I really just don't have not had the time to devote to it. But it is supposed to be like one of these like very like indie games. Unfortunately, I think in these kind of categories, a lot of this stuff like indie games just don't stand a chance when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
I would have picked it over Flight Simulator. I don't know enough about Age of Empires to
I mean,
make a decision on that one,
the biggest
but-
thing about Age of Empires is that the game has been the last. I think it's been like 25 years since we got our last Age of Empires. Like it's, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Age of Empires 3 came out like fucking a long time ago, like 20 years ago or something like that.
For some reason, I always thought Age of Empires was a mobile game,
No,
like exclusively a mobile game,
no,
like
No.
Clash of Clans style mobile game.
no, absolutely not. No. Yeah. So, but I would definitely recommend. I need to pick up Inscription and play it. Honestly, I think it's on sale right now. I need to pick it up and play it. It really does.
It's something that I eventually want to pick up and play as well. I've watched enough of it to like it's really got me, and I want to experience it myself.
Yeah, I think it definitely deserves a play. All right. So, well, Enigma, is there anything in there that you disagree with or want to change?
No, I think those are all relatively good games to be in that category. I think, and I agree with the winner.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Sports racing games. I think we're probably. Well, I don't know. Maybe we have some changes in here, but sports racing games. F1 2021, FIFA 2022, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Forza 5, which was the winner, and Riders Republic. Was Riders Republic actually like? Did that? Is it good?
No, it's not.
I didn't think it was.
It's really not. Like it's got your fucking angsty like 15-year-old sense of humor. Like it's not for us, Sin. It's not for us. There is an audience
Up
for
there,
that
boomer.
game, and it is not us.
Oh my god.
Fortnite of a racing game.
You remember the slang that they used in like Rocket Power and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's basically that in a dirt bike or in a an off-road biking. Like,
I mean, this is their
game.
trailer. Like their trailer is screams just like. Yeah.
it screams "fuck you, boomer."
Yeah.
Is what it screams, and
Like-
it's not our game, bud. It's not our game.
It
Might be a good game, but it's not our game. I put probably 5 hours into the test run of it. It's not our game.
This just like legitimately.
It was actually a pretty decent time to like play, like dick around in it with the group that I did play it with, but not our game, bud.
It's like the whole thing just screams to me why our kids have such a problem with like keeping their attention span on anything for 5 seconds. Like it's just so much like over here, look over here, boom, pow, right in your leg, like,
What I will say is I applaud Ubisoft for trying something out of the box with this style game, and somehow they managed to integrate like trial based racing, like go here, do this mission, like do this race type thing, into an open world format that's actually really satisfying to like go around and like search through.
does the open world stuff work? Like,
There's stuff. There's things to find. Like there's actually like a decent amount of stuff to find. Like I went to the from the time that I did play it, there's this big ass mountain, and if you go all the way up to the peak of this mountain, you'll find a flag planted there, and beside it are like two a pair of skis that you unlock by finding the top of that mountain, and they're like these janky, like basically look like two split pieces of like 2x4 with a foot strap to it, and you can go and ski around on those.
I mean, what I was gonna kind of the point I'm gonna make here, and I think why Forza Horizon 5 deserves the win is I think Riders Republic, like Forza is trying to be like what Forza Horizon 5 is, right? Just with all the like Forza Horizon, like they do a
Forza
very
Horizon 100% deserves the win.
good job
in my
of that
opinion.
open world, just like kind of, yo, we're gonna drop you in, go drive around, start up some races, do some shit, whatever else. Like it just works so well. To the point, I don't know if you guys remember that one game. It was a racing game. Oh, shit. Actually, I don't even remember the fucking name of it. I'm trying to think of what it was called, but it was like Test Drive Unlimited, but it's newer. And it was a racing game where basically it was just like drop in and you just go and like you meet up with like your friends and you race and you do all this kind of
Crew?
stuff. Maybe it's the Crew. Maybe the Crew 2, I think, or they had a sequel to it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those, like it tried to do that kind of stuff, but just never did it well. Test Drive Unlimited actually did a very good job, which was like an online racing game that you could race for pink slips and things like that. I feel like this is what like they want to go to, and I think again, I think you're right. I think Ubisoft like maybe not this is not the first, like the first iteration was a good like attempt, and maybe like the Riders Republic 2 or 3 or whatever we kind of continue to get will be that game that like will
They
kind
don't
of
do sequels anymore, man. Everything's games as a service.
okay. Well, maybe
with
Riders
Ubisoft.
Republic in fucking 2-3 years will be the game that like does it. I mean, I wonder what their community is like on this. Like, is it actually pretty popular still?
I am actually curious myself.
You want to know what I'm curious about?
What?
Is when they're gonna put NFTs in.
Oh, they'll put NFTs in it. NFTs are coming, 100%, for sure coming. So, Enigma, is there any change you'd want on this at all?
No, I don't like racing games in the first place. I've watched. I think it's Plague that's been playing Forza. And the only thing I know about Forza is that it's extremely realistic, and Plague doesn't know how to drive.
Damn, Plague, you let him take that? All right.
I had to sit there for like 3 hours teaching Plague how to drive in dirt, bro. What are you talking?
It's not even a simulator game. It's just a racing game.
It can be. It can be.
Where's Pork
Like
Chop?
he was.
Pork's the resident driving expert.
Is he? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I said Plague. I said it. Calling you out, bro.
Gosh. Anyway, okay, so you're fine. Forza Horizon 5 can win this title, right? Win this one.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Best family game. So for the best game appropriate for family play, in respective or genre or platform. It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, new Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together.
A lot of Nintendo on here.
No shit.
No one was surprised.
All right, this might as well just been like best Nintendo family or best game from Nintendo. That's not a main
Who
game.
won this one?
Yeah, It Takes Two won this one.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two won it.
Yeah, it
See, this is what I don't.
When I
this
think
is-
family game, I think like party game. I think
That's-
something
that's
that
what I was
you can
about to
play
say.
with the family.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like this is what I don't. This is one of those first picks that I was like, this makes absolutely no fucking sense. Yes, I understand It Takes Two was designed like the story is about family, right? That's the overarching story. It has nothing to do with the playership, right? Like the actual it being appropriate to play with your family. Like you can play with one of your family, but not your entire family. It doesn't make any sense. When I think of family games, it's like Mario Party. It's like Pokemon, everything like that. Like those are the games that I think of. Not It Takes Two. I'm sorry. I don't think that this should have been the winner.
So let me tell you why I don't think this game should have won, and I think this may clear up a lot of things just in general, regardless of the play style of it being like, oh, it's a couch co-op game, right? Which I think is why the only reason it's in here. Plague, you talked about what the topics and like the narrative of what it goes over and why it deals with IRL issues. That's why I would not want my 11-year-old, 12-year-old, younger kid to play it, because it's talking about like two parents going through a really rough divorce. The child is just like completely like in the middle of this, and and how they're coping with it is these two dolls, right? And whatever else. Like that is heavy issues that you've coded, which again, in a normal, I think, adult style gameplay, fine. Like you're coding it in, this video game. That's fine. So, but to call it a family game, absolutely not. Like, I'm not gonna have my son sit down and play this with me.
The only reason why it's in this category is because it had to do with a family, and I don't think that that's one thing. Or I don't think that that's the sole thing that should have been based off of this winning and being in this category.
Yeah, I don't think it's 100%.
Personally, my winner would have been Mario Party Superstars. Like that to me is a family game. That's a game that you can sit down with your family. Doesn't matter what age they are, and they're gonna have a good time.
I would have actually I would have taken It Take Two out for sure. And I actually would have taken WarioWare Get It Together out as well, because I don't think WarioWare Get It Together is, one, it's not a good game. And two, it's not a very good family game. Like it's very much like that fucking the 1-2 switch game that came out, really cheesy. Mario Golf, and I actually would have put Mario Golf as the winner.
It's a good one, yeah.
Mario Golf, I've played Mario Party Superstars at a friend's house. Good game, but Mario Golf is just I've had so much fun with my family playing Mario Golf. It's just insane. How much fun we've actually had fun doing that. So, Bill, any
Well, either Mario Party or Mario Golf. I think both of those are fine.
Yep.
Out of the list that they had there, I would have picked Mario Party because this Mario Party is actually really good.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, moving on. Hey, look at that right there. Look at this one right here. Hey, what is that? Yeah, look at Live Bill. It's one of my recommended videos. No shit. Hey, Billy Boo.
YouTube's actually doing something.
It's doing its job. Algorithms, baby. All right, moving on. Best fighting game. So Bill and I talked about best fighting game. Why I think it should have been in this. I actually think it just would have won 2 categories, in best multiplayer as well. Guilty Gear Strive. It obviously took this category. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaba. I am butchering
say
this.
Demon Slayer. Just say
Demon Slayer. All right. Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood, Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. How did Nickelodeon? Though it's a good. I know me and Bill are going to dispute.
There wasn't a lot of fighting games out.
I don't know how that
really
game got
wasn't,
in there. Oh man. Okay.
I honestly, like, when it comes down to me, when I'm looking at all these, like, I get why Guilty Gear got voted for it. It's the epitome of the fighting game, right? But like Demon Slayer was actually not that bad, man. Like I watched some people play it, and it was actually a competent fighter.
Yeah, I heard it was a bit goofy with some
It
of the
was.
mechanics and stuff.
It was,
But
yeah. It had its issues, but like it legitimately did not play well. I can't attest for it playing very well, but it didn't look like it was janky, right?
I mean,
I wish they would have like games as a service like in some of these things, because I think Brawlhalla deserves a spot before Nickelodeon All Stars does.
Yeah, but Brawlhalla
'Cause
didn't release this year. Like
it
Brawlhalla
didn't
was
release
not.
this year. I get that, but
Yeah.
they had a massive content spike this
Yeah.
year, and its community has popped up pretty significantly.
So what we're showing on screen right now, if you guys can see it, this is Guilty Gear Strive. If you've not watched Guilty Gear Strive, even if you're not a fighting fan, like you don't play fighting games, this is high level play. So this was actually, so I can credit it. This is GGST China. This was the #1 ranked. Happy Chaos #1 ranked. Potemkin, Guilty Gear Strive gameplay. So this is like high level gameplay. like I like fighting games. I actually enjoy playing fighting games. I just don't do it enough. But there is something about watching these fighting games that just gets the blood going, even if you don't really enjoy them. Like,
I can already tell what's going to be next year's fighting game of the year, though.
is it the Cartoon Network's fucking Brawl game?
No, Project L.
Oh, dude, that game looks fucking sick. That
It
game
looks
looks
really good.
so fucking good. Should I show a trailer of Project L? Should we show Project L and what it looks like? Even though we're
Might
not.
as well.
All right. But Guilty Gear Strive, phenomenal game. I actually never saw Demon Slayer. You said it's a good game, Enigma? Did we lose Enigma?
Did we lose Enigma?
We lost Enigma. So this is Project L, dude. I am so stoked for Project L. Like I completely forgot.
It's gonna be really, really good.
Dude,
Like
it's-
obviously Elden Ring's gonna win fighting game of the year next year, but like, Project L's gonna give it a run for its
It's
money.
fighting game gear. Oh my god, dude! It's and it's a tag based system. I don't know, man, dude. It's so like I give it to Riot. Riot has spent so long. We've all said this for like forever that Riot needs to expand outside of League of Legends.
Why is Riot making way better games than what their like flagship game is? Like every game that they're putting out is better than what League of Legends actually is. Like Ruin King is a phenomenal game. Teamfight Tactics is a phenomenal game. Project L is going to be a phenomenal game. Like they are killing it on everything other than their main game.
Are you back, Enigma?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. And dude, they're working on an
What are
MMO,
we
and
talking
I'm so excited about the MMO.
Talking about fighting games, Project L.
Is that the league one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it
probably
looks-
gonna,
it looks
it's probably
really
gonna
good,
win
man.
next year.
It looks so fucking good, man. And the fact that they have, and me and Sin have been arguing about this, right? Like the fact, because he says that it's because it's a fighting game, they won't do skins. But the fact that what's it called, League of Legends has so many skins, I fucking guarantee you, this game will be huge for skins for characters.
I don't know, man.
I have no doubt for it.
Fucking
I 100%
guarantee it, dude.
guarantee.
I just
Speaking
don't.
of guarantee, do you think Garen's gonna be in it?
Yes, every character they will bring.
We already saw
every
Darius
character's
in
gonna
it.
be-
What they're gonna do, and this is why I disagree with saying that they're gonna have skins, because skins have never been in any fighting game. Really, you've never had skins as a thing. Like it was just
Yeah.
no. Like you.
Or fucking what's it called? Again, I'm not a fighting game expert, but I'm 100. I'm pretty accurate. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty, spot on with my recollection that fucking what's the one with the Hadouken? I always forget the fucking
Street
name.
Fighter?
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter had different skins.
No,
for
they had
different fucking
alternative
characters.
outfits that you would like if you
Yeah.
did like up. No,
So-
what?
so
hold on.
skins.
Holy fuck!
Alternative.
Like no, what I'm saying is they never sold skins. Like I'm not saying that they've never had like alternate colors
Well,
or
yeah,
whatever else,
that's
but they never
because back
sold
when
them.
it fucking came out, selling
Even-
shit that
even
was past
now.
the fucking game was not seen favorably.
Even
upon.
now they don't do that. Like what you get, like
Uh.
you get, they will. I think their monetization and to me the reason I think they should stay with this is because this is what the fighting community like lives and dies by. Like other than the fact that it will be a good game, and yes, and maybe you're right. Maybe because the fighting game has never been introduced to a game that actually could do skins effectively, and this is going to bring League of Legends, which in Riot does phenomenal skins, right? Like they
Yeah.
fucking have phenomenal skins.
That's the only reason why I say this, because legitimately they have years, like legitimately years worth of skins that they could pour into this game. Why wouldn't they fucking use it?
Dude,
Like that's just a second source of income,
I'm so
another
pumped.
source of income on top of it.
To add another wrench into this whole equation, Mortal Kombat sells skins. You can either unlock them in game or you can buy them straight up.
I don't consider the new Mortal Kombat's is like in the fighting. I don't know. I know it's wrong to say. Like it is a good game.
What the fuck?
No, okay, I get it. I know it's a good game. I just don't like. And this is just
It's the
no. Hold on. Let me
flagship fighting game. It's what
just.
brought fighting
Okay, first off,
games to
it's not the
masses.
flagship fighting game. That's fucking absolutely incorrect, sir.
Well, he
Wrong.
surged you.
That is if you're gonna say the fighting games, it's gonna be Street Fighter, hands
He
down.
he straight up Karen surged you, bro. He was like, "Okay, sir,
I've watched
you better back the
Listen,
fuck up."
I've watched enough
Nobody
documentaries
gave
about
a
it.
Shit about fighting games until
You are
Mortal Kombat
fucking
came out.
crazy. We're about to fight. That's it. We're KO.
Nobody gave a shit.
You're fucking crazy. Let me give you like 6 documentaries to go watch before you guys start arguing with me about fucking fighting games and what's and
Be sure to send me the vegan documentary.
yeah, I
again so
will.
can
I
say-
will. I'm also gonna give you a beard trimming documentary, douchebag. Anyway, no, I am very excited about this. It's a tag based system, and it looks so good, man. I really do think that they're gonna knock it. If it's anything like this, it's gonna be knocked out of the park. And I really do hope that like it brings a lot of new people into fighting. Like Enigma, I want you to get into it because I think that you could because you know the character. So like
Oh yeah,
there's
100%. Yeah,
you know
I when they announced it, I was like, this is a fighting game that I would actually be interested in playing because I'm interested in the characters. I'm interested in the lore.
like
So,
it's oh dude, I can't wait. I cannot
but I
wait.
100% guarantee you that there will be skins in it.
Do you think there's gonna be
It's
balancing issues?
it's Riot that we have.
You think they're gonna have horrible balancing issues?
Well, 100%.
Like there's
It's Riot.
like fighting games has got a natural tier system to it. Like that's always been like a thing.
If they add Yasuo into it, it'll just be Yasuo versus everyone,
just Yasuo and Fiora. That's the top tier 2 characters. So.
or Yasuo and the stripper boy. I forget his fucking name.
Oh, Set.
Set. Yeah, Yasuo
Set.
and Set. It'll just be dominated by those.
It's cool, man. They have like what I like about this, and we are still on topic, by the way, because this was announced in the Game Awards. They showed this off.
I actually didn't even remember this. Like I'm curious why they didn't. Other than the fact that like again you said that it was announced right there, but I am curious why this wasn't added into this category.
Well, because it didn't come out yet.
It's not released. I guess. Yeah.
But is the fact that they have like so much to go off of, man. They have so many characters, so many cool things, and just a lot of stuff that's like so dynamically different. Like to me, it's just like, oh, this is easy because we don't have to come up with new characters. We have the fucking characters.
It's
right?
it's already set up for a fighting game, right? You have separate characters that have their own designs and their own abilities. Like that you can literally just port over their abilities from League to
Oh,
a
God,
fighting
it
game.
looks so fucking good, man.
Listen, and Riot's not opposed to making new characters either. Like a good majority of the show Arcane is like
But they don't
completely
need to.
original characters. They
But
don't
they
need
don't
to,
need
but
to.
they
Yeah.
have the ability to make
They do,
good,
yeah.
compelling characters.
That's the biggest thing is like they are like say what you want about Riot and say what you want about League of Legends, like they are very good at character design, like the backgrounds and everything like that. Like 100%.
Have y'all been watching Arcane?
I finished it.
I haven't
It's
watched
amazing.
it yet. No.
Dude,
It's a very,
it's
very
so
good time if you like depression. It will send you. It will
It's
send
it's
you
dark,
into
man.
It'll
I
send
do
you into
know-
a deep depression.
I do know the basic like background and lore for Vi and Jinx though, so I know like it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's not a it's not a happy tune, you know.
Dude, it's dark.
Not a single aspect of that like story arc is happy. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing I'll give Riot credit for with Arcane is as dark and as serious and as depressing as every single arc in that show is, they do a really good job of pacing it out so that it's not just a big suck fest of emotion the entire time. Like the pacing of that show is spot on perfect with like keeping you engaged without like overwhelming you.
The worst part about it,
What
though,
else we need to keep engaged? The fact that we're on fighting titles and not talking about League of Legends, though. That's one thing we should probably keep engaged.
well, all I was gonna say,
Because we
real
have a lot of
quick,
categories to go.
real quick, I was gonna say, actually, we really don't. We're burning through them pretty quick. But what I was gonna say, real quick, was that the worst thing about that is that it makes you want to play League, and I have recently gone back to League, and that game is still fucking shit. It's still it's in the worst place it's been in a long time. Like it's not in a good spot right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So best RPG. So we've got the. I don't think I need to explain what this is. Everyone understands what an RPG is. Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise was the winner of this game, or this category. So discuss. I'm showing footage right now of Tales of Arise.
What was the category? Because I missed it. I zoned out.
Our best RPG.
Tales of Arise is probably a good one. What other RPGs came out? Demon
mean-
Souls remake, I wouldn't put in this category. Just well, it didn't even come out last year. What am I talking about? Never mind.
So, okay, I just
I've heard Shin Megami Tensei is actually really, really good.
Oh, fine. I heard that Shin Megami Tensei was really good. I know that Scarlet Nexus was decent.
yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
Scarlet Nexus would. I don't think it hangs enough in here. I think there's other
doesn't,
RPGs
yeah.
that could go in this category.
Yeah, it definitely.
Nier
I don't
Replicant,
think
I'm
that was.
surprised isn't in here,
Well, they didn't
even though
release last year.
it's technically a remake as well. So
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't release last year. So
Um,
I think Monster Hunter Rise. I don't know why that's in there. It's not really a role playing game.
so that's what I was going to ask. Was like, does Monster Hunter Rise deserve to be in here as well? Because I don't think
So. No, because there is legitimately, like, other than the storyline that's inside of it and the fact that you can kind of build your character how you want, it's not really a role playing game in my opinion. Like, role playing games are actual games that, like, your choices matter. In Monster Hunter Rise, your choices don't matter. You fucking kill a Rathalos. You killed a Rathalos. That's all. Nothing happens.
Right.
You know.
is
I-
Bravely Default in this list?
no. It literally is Cyberpunk, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei,
If I-
and Tales of
If I
Arise.
had my choice, it would be Cyberpunk because I got to represent Cyberpunk. But you know,
You think that deserves best RPG?
yeah, it was a good RPG. I think it was
Okay,
better.
good is completely not. It's not the best. Dude, I'm
I've
sorry,
never played Tales of Arise.
Dude, the game-
I'm not really a Bandai Namco fan, but you know,
it's a fucking good game, man. Like I don't.
Bandai Namco is making Elden Ring.
so is Cyberpunk.
Tales of Arise is a better game than Cyberpunk.
I don't think so.
Better RPG. The
I don't think so.
RPG elements in Cyberpunk were good. I don't know if they were fucking great.
I think you can fuck right off.
But if you take it out of the Cyberpunk world,
Hey. This
okay,
is
hey, fine, this is fine. This
my
is yours. You're right.
selection,
Yeah, I get it.
sir,
Sure.
okay?
Jesus Christ. All right, fine.
Don't. You know what? You're fucking. Yeah, I'm gonna cancel you. You keep this shit.
Dude, I can cancel myself. I don't need your help. Trust me. So yeah, Bill, I mean, actually, Bill,
love
I
the
think,
Tales
dude,
series.
I think you should play this. Like, I really think you should play Tales of Arise.
I love the Tales series. I have been out of touch with the last few titles that they've put out, but it's like up there with Final Fantasy and like one of my favorite franchises. RPG
Franchises?
so
Franchise.
Yeah,
I'm
franchises.
tired, man. I'm fucking tired. Okay.
I mean, it works. You're a fan of it, so it's a franchise, not a franchise.
The only thing
It
that
works.
keeps me from buying this game and playing it is I know that I will not stay with it and finish it. Like that's it. Like
You're not
those
a big
games-
RPG.
I'm not a
player.
single player fan, man. Or just, I can't stick with them. I love them to death, but dude, I like watching this. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. And I've watched it being played. I've seen it being played, and I'm like, I need to go buy this. And I just know it'll just sit there.
Like the game does look really good though. Like from what I'm watching right here, like it does look like something that I would enjoy playing. I don't know.
It's like a mixture
I'm not a
of.
big Namco fan, man,
It's so good.
Bandai Namco makes Elden Ring.
and I'm not really looking forward to Elden Ring. Like,
Oh, he said, Bill, you better get him. Get him, Bill.
Nah,
Get 'em.
it's fine.
I'm not a Souls player. Like I don't know how many
Yeah.
times I gotta tell you this.
Bill is saying, you know,
I'm the only Souls player in.
when
That's
you
not
make
true. I
those
like
fucking
Souls games.
videos- When you make those videos out of your YouTube channel, I watch them. I'm like, I have no clue what this dude just said, but hey, cool. I'll put a like on it.
Hold on a sec. I'm not as much of a Souls player. I'm definitely nowhere close as you, but I still enjoy the Souls games. I play them. Like I don't mainline them, but
Nah.
that's like
Not straight to the aorta.
no. Okay, well, I plan on playing Elden Ring. I'm not like fucking hard up on it for it, but I'm excited about it. So,
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I think that what game should have been in there instead of honestly, instead of Cyberpunk, I honestly think that Final Fantasy 14 should have been in there.
what?
Yeah.
It's not. It didn't release this year.
I mean, it had a fucking giant fucking
That did not
expansion
release
pack.
it. It didn't release by this time. Like
Whatever.
it's not,
I mean, it was on
it
the
can't-
category for best fucking multiplayer.
no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. It won the category.
No, that was
Not
for
multiplayer.
That's
no,
for
it was
best
on another
community
category.
support.
Yeah. but it was still there.
Well, but that's because that allows it. That's talking about ongoing games. Like that's not.
Listen here,
You
sir,
can't
I'm
put.
gonna cancel you. You
n-
keep fucking.
Oh
keep
my
fucking
god!
calling
I could
out
just
my-
mute you, and in a way I don't have to worry about it.
And Endwalker was out before this fucking show. Like, I don't understand.
When did Endwalker
It
release?
was Endwalker released before the show. It released like a week or two before the show.
Well, like okay, so Endwalker released on December 7th. When was the show? The Game Awards.
Like last week.
They were December 9th. It had been out for 2 days.
Yeah,
It's
but
not gonna
it was
count.
still released.
They
It was
never do
still
that.
Released before.
They never do that. It will never count. They'll never count it in that
And
category. It's too close.
technically, it released early access in. No, I can't remember. Was it December 2nd or was it? I think it was December.
Can we
2nd.
really say early access because everyone's not? No, I mean no one can play it.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
So let's
I'm
just
gonna-
be honest.
You know what? You and me are about to fucking go to.
It's
go to
fine,
Christmas
whatever. It
party.
won't be the first or last time. All right. So best action adventure game.
Wait. We
what-
never did we all agree with Tales of Rise?
I said yes. Tales of Rise should win this best RPG.
What you
Yeah.
built?
Yeah, I think it's worthy.
I think you're both wrong. Fucking Cyberpunk.
Okay,
all the
well
way.
you're fucking dumb, so it's all right. It doesn't matter. All right. So best action adventure game, and also by the way, Starfield can't be in this. Starfield's in a category for best anticipated game. Sigma, you're not getting Final
you get it,
Fantasy in
Sigma.
here.
You get it.
You're not getting
You
Final
get-
Fantasy in here other than that one category, and that's it. Best action adventure game for the. We don't need to explain what action adventure is. So this was Psychonauts 2, Resident Evil Village, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Metroid Dread, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This was actually to me one of the.
This is one of the.
This is
worst
like-
that
It's
they-
a tight.
This was a
It's a tight
yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
This is the tight competition between them all, man.
There's actually not. I would not have taken a game out of here or put
I
in
wouldn't have
here.
either.
I think all of those games deserve to be in here.
I think they all deserve that 100%.
Metroid Droid.
I wish they
Metroid.
could have had another slot for Returnal. I think Returnal deserves on that list.
Is that considered? Would you? Oh yeah. Would that be an action
I don't-
game
I
though?
don't know
No,
if it
no.
would be
It was.
action
It was an
adventure,
action.
though.
It was in an action cat. It was an action. It wasn't considered an action. I don't know what the fucking.
It
the
wasn't a
difference is.
category. It did win a category.
It did win. It won, but it won. It's actually the next one. Best action game. It won best action game.
Okay,
Returnal
I
did.
can understand where the adventure, because adventure tends to be like more of a linear narratively driven game,
Right.
Like with a clear start, middle, and end. Okay.
So Metroid Dread won this category. I have actually not seen a lot of Metroid Dread. I was not too keen on it when I first saw the original stuff, like when they were talking about it in their original trailers. Like I didn't really like what they were doing with it when they like switched it into this first person mode and then switched back. But from what I've heard and seen of the little bit I've seen, it's actually really fucking good. It looks really good and has been like praised by pretty much all Metroid fans.
Yeah, it's a good return to form for Metroid. I wouldn't have picked it as my winner just because I'm not the biggest, like, as much as I like the Metroidvania genre, I'm not the biggest like 2D Metroid fan.
Wasn't this one like a 3D, 2D mesh?
It had 3D elements
it's,
to it, but
it's 95%.
yeah,
2D.
it's mostly 2D. I'm a big Metroidvania style, so like it's right up my alley. I haven't played it. But oof, man, for me, it really was a toss up between two. I love Psychonauts 2. Like I love Psychonauts. I love Psychonauts 2. I just think Psychonauts it's past its prime, unfortunately, and they did rest on a lot of the same things with Psychonauts 2 that Psychonauts did. Though it was a good game, I don't think it was a contender here. It really was.
Psychonauts was like elected for a lot of these things. Like it was in one of these categories.
I think it was just kind of given in there to, like I said, it's a good game. I don't think it hangs in this. It really comes down to me, Resident Evil Village and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Were the two for me that it was
I
really
wish Kenna Bridge of Spirits would have been in this. I think it would have had a chance in this. I think that game came out of nowhere and was
it won another game. It won another.
Yeah,
Did it
it won
win?
something.
Okay.
It won another
Enough.
one.
Okay.
It
Back
won.
on topic. Sorry.
For,
No, you're
for
good.
me,
Village for me all the way, personally.
For me personally, I like the fact that Metroid won. I think it's a good winner. It's a good title for the actual
I think any
award.
of them deserve it. Yeah.
But I would say for me, mine's a toss up between Resident Evil Village and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really, Guardians?
Yeah, I liked
I'm s-
Guardians, man.
I'm
Everything that I've
surprised you
seen
liked
so
Village
far.
as much.
I haven't played Village, but I enjoyed watching Village. I thought it was a very good adventure game. I thought it was a very good action adventure game. I liked it. I know Sin didn't like it at the start, but
Well,
I enjoyed it.
I'm just surprised you like it considering the dollhouse.
Yeah, I mean, well, fuck that part, you know, but the
so
rest of it,
good.
I was just
Uh,
saying, fuck that part, you know.
So here's the thing. I've been going back and forth between the two because I think Ratchet and Clank was just done so fucking well. Like that game was
It
just
was.
a masterpiece in all like areas. I mean, it really did check the box on all the areas. Metroid, I agree with you, Enigma. I think from a return to form, from we haven't had a Metroid game in a while that was that was really good. Like it checks those boxes as well. It's hard for me to pass that up. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. If that game was shorter, and they would have, and more, I think there were some issues in the game with some stuff. But really, my biggest gripe with that game is it was about 2 hours, in my opinion, or 2.5 hours too long. With the stuff that they were starting to like add in, and in my opinion, it came off as very much of like, we need to make up for the shit show that was the Avengers, so we're just gonna give you all of this, right? You know, and it just got very long in the tooth.
I think so. I think you're
Have,
pushing Guardians of the Galaxy or the Avengers, Marvel Avengers failure on Guardians of the
nope.
Galaxy at that point.
I'm looking at Guardians of the Galaxy on its own right. That game is
I don't
phenomenal.
think that I don't think that Marvel's Avengers had anything to do with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy, the only thing that it had to do with was that it was a Marvel franchise.
I'm saying that the reason that they gave that Square Enix and Eidos put so much information, like they put so much. Let me ask you: have you finished the game?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so and I'm not being argumentative. I'm saying finish the game, and then I want to talk to you about it, like whether we're on stream or off stream, because I want you to go through that entire game, and it's a little bit of a disservice because I went through it in one sitting, right, or like one playthrough. I went through the whole thing. So did Tony or whatever else, and multiple people I've talked to have had that same argument. Yours is busted up, so like you've you've played some of it, you stopped, you're gonna come back to it. I want to talk to you after you play this game because there's a point where you're like, okay, like it's wrapped up in a bow, it's nice and tightly done. This is great. This is the story, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, like we got more, and then it's like it gets to a point again where you're like, oh, this is it, like it's done. Nope, there's more, and then it's like it does it like 4 or 5 times.
Sin won a game shorter.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
I'm saying.
So essentially, you're complaining that the game they gave you too much.
No, it's that they
too much for the price that they asked for.
Nope, it's the fact that it was, to me, a lot of filler stuff that was put in, and like it's hard for me. I can't say without ruining the story of what they do because I don't want to ruin it.
My only thing is like, are you saying this based off of the fact that you're used to other games removing content and then adding back in the content later? Because that's what you would have had. Essentially, you would have had all that content that they did not have in it, which has been an expansion.
I'm solely looking at the fact of their entire story of what we played through and what was like what they produced and gave us, and how that they and the way that they gave it to us, like looking at it in its own right. I'm not comparing it to anything else. I'm not comparing it to Avengers. I'm not comparing it to other games. Like I'm looking at
I didn't mean like comparing it to other games. I'm just saying comparing it to the way that other games release. Right?
No,
the way that other games release and the way that we're used to games releasing these days is they release with a ton of fucking content cut out because they didn't want to make it like an ungodly amount of time spent in the game, and then they release that cut content as an expansion.
No, this is there's plenty of expansion content that can be. This is one of the rare times where I do think that the game had it was just too much. Like there was just there, and again, it's hard for me to explain it without having you have played it all the way through and also not wanting to ruin the story, because like the game is all about the story. The narrative is phenomenal. It's a great action adventure game. But like it just there.
My only point is that your
it's
only
just-
argument right now is that the game was too long. When this actual category is about the combat, the traversal, and the puzzle.
Well, I think that
you can't tell me that that game did not do an extremely good job. Like the combat was janky, I'll give you that, and the traversal was kind of janky, but the puzzle solving and everything like that, I thought was top grade. I thought that was really.
I think I think it was good all the way around. I don't think that it was. I think the combat was good. I don't think it was great.
And,
I think
to me, like my options were Resident Evil and Ratchet and Clank, right? And I think that Resident Evil did a really good job with this actual category, right? It did a really good job with combat. It did a really good job with the traversal, and it did a really good job with puzzle solving, right? I think Ratchet and Clank did a really good job with a couple of those things, but I don't really think that it gave us a lot that was like brand spanking new, other than that
No.
that morphing or whatever, like whatever it was called, the traversal between the planes or whatever,
yeah, like the rifts traveling. Yeah,
the rifts. Yeah, I think that was the only thing that that game had going for it. Other than that, it was just a Ratchet and Clank game. It was just Ratchet and Clank.
right.
Personally.
But I think so. Okay. So we don't keep going around in circles on the Guardians of the Galaxy. My choice is Resident Evil Village.
Mhm. I can agree with that.
And Ratchet and Clank, again, Ratchet and Clank games have never been like they just they're good games. Like they're just phenomenal fucking action adventure games, like top tier action adventure games. But Resident Evil Village for me, if none of you don't remember that we're here or whatever else, I was fucking adamant about that against
Fucking
that game.
hate this game.
I fucking did not like pre-release, pre-stuff, pre-watching, like not pre-watching, but pre-release and watching some people play through it and some of the cutscenes and a little bit of stuff that I had seen and well, it wasn't little. I mean, the time that I had spent watching some people play it was adamantly against this game. Like I did not like it. I was just fucking just vivid, like with venom, did not like this game. I swallowed a lot of it and watched Bill play through, and Bill's playthrough, whether kudos to Bill for his his ability to play through that game and the way that he played through it to make it to have you be engaged and all of those kind of things is phenomenal. So I highly advise Bill. I don't know if those are on your YouTube channel or not. I know that that was when you were on Twitch. But if you have not seen the playthrough, go back and watch his VODs. He does a phenomenal job. So kudos to Bill. I actually got on Bill's stream and discussed and apologized for this game because of how good it really is and how well they really did it. So it deserves the win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, like my decision was between, like I said, Resident Evil and Marvel's the Galaxy, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think Resident Evil wins over hands down.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Best action game. So this was Back for Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, Returnal. Returnal was the winner on this one. And let me show Returnal if you haven't seen Returnal. You guys can discuss anything
To me, like honestly, like with this category, if we're going off of best action game, which the way that they describe best action game is for the best game in an action genre focuses primarily on combat, I would have given this to Chivalry 2.
Really?
Yeah, because Chivalry 2 is focused entirely on combat. 100%, that is the entirety of the game. Is you either fucking get good at the combat or you die.
Well, I think Returnal could be the same thing because Returnal is Souls-like esque, right? I mean, because Bill, you're the only one that's played Returnal out of all of us.
But Returnal has an actual like storyline and everything, right?
Yeah, Returnal has a story, but
To me,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think
to me this is focused
talking about Chivalry
too.
it should have been in the multiplayer category personally.
Yeah, I can
It
understand.
doesn't really do
multiplayer. Yeah,
it is entirely multiplayer, but it doesn't really do anything unique with the multiplayer. It's just the same multiplayer.
But I think there were games in there
Yeah.
that were in that category that didn't do.
I'm not arguing with you, but what I am saying is that there were also games in there that did do multiplayer differently than what we've seen in the past.
So-
Right.
Okay, so you're saying you're saying Chivalry 2 Enigma.
I personally would have went with either Chivalry 2 or I can say Returnal. My options would have been between like Returnal and Chivalry 2. And I think Chivalry 2 should have won, but
I mean,
that's
Returnal
just me.
almost made me between Returnal and Demon Souls almost made me buy a PlayStation 5. Like,
That's my only other issue is that Returnal was a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and I'm not fuck that.
I
ain't
really
about
hope Returnal is one of the games that
I
they
don't
bring.
think exclusivity should be factored into any.
that.
Of
I
these,
mean, it
personally.
shouldn't be factored in, but it's factored into my personal opinion.
Look, just
It's
so you
factored
know,
in.
if
and
anything is
that's
exclusive to Epic, he is not going to let it win. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
no, fuck that.
Oh, man, so for me, it's hard because it's between Returnal and Deathloop. In this,
It's also between Returnal and Deathloop for me, and Returnal wins it in my book.
does Returnal win it because I mean I don't know, you're pretty good about cutting away from like the Souls aspect of a game, you know, because I was gonna ask is like
Honestly, I don't feel that much Souls
really
aspect to Returnal, other than it being difficult. But that's a roguelike. Roguelikes are hard. I get very for Returnal. I get more of a Near Automata meets like I wanna say
like a bullet. It's like a
Metroid.
bullet hell, right? I mean, it's very bullet hell.
it is a bullet hell.
Yeah.
You
The
say
bosses are
Automata?
designed as bullet
Yeah,
hells.
Nier
Yeah.
Automata.
Did you say Automata like Automatopoeia, or is it Automata or whatever? I've never
Automata.
heard
I
it
say
said
Automata,
Automata.
it's
It's technically
Automatopoeia.
Automata. It's
Is it?
near
I've
near
never heard
Automata.
it said that.
Yeah. Is the
But
proper.
crazy.
no, it's near meets like what a Metroid game could be, because the gunplay and stuff feels like it would sync up very well with like in like the enemy design, it being like a, alien planet, and like the creature designs and stuff. It has a very Metroidy feel to it. Plus, with the exploration and stuff, you go in so far, you get an item. It allows you on your subsequent runs to be able to unlock more stuff. It has that Metroidvania like ebb and flow to it. But other than the difficulty aspect, it has very little Souls to it.
Okay. Man, it's hard for me to. I don't know. I think I lean into
And again,
Deathloop, but I only. But I
Returnal
didn't-
went outside of the box, which is why it gets it a little bit more than Deathloop. Because while the multiplayer aspect of Deathloop is very unique, the game itself feels like Dishonored.
I don't think that I
Abridged.
don't really feel like Deathloop did anything like unique.
I mean, I think it was cool the fact that like you had to do, like I don't know if it was necessarily considered unique, but we don't see it a lot where it's like you have to rewind and like rewind
Persia,
time.
bitch.
Yeah, but not in that sense. Like this was an aspect of like to do
but-
certain things you had to die. Like there
Yeah,
like
but
you had to
that's
kill
not,
yourself.
That's not based off of combat. That's just based off of in-game mechanic. That was just entirely in-game.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm just
to do one thing, you had to do another.
So
thing.
I'm not putting all of my eggs in the basket of saying like this is just, which I mean I get that, I guess you have to, because the game is saying the genre is saying, or by the way they're describing it is saying
it's primarily
on
focused
combat.
Yeah.
If I have to put it on
that's the only
combat,
reason,
then
like, again, why I say Chivalry too, because Chivalry is all about the combat.
okay. So all right, so let me do it. Then I give it to Returnal. I did not play Chivalry 2. I have not watched Chivalry 2, so I can't accurately say anything on Chivalry 2. I played Chivalry 1, and if it's just a
Well, it's just a better version of Chivalry 1. Yeah.
okay. But I still give it to Returnal. But if I take
I completely agree. Yeah.
if I take action game and take what I think, like I look at action games and say, not just primarily focusing on combat, but like, you know, it's a combat heavy game, but it's like, if I'm looking at all aspects of the action game itself, then I lean into Deathloop. A question I had on here, do you believe that Far Cry 6 deserves to be on this?
No,
Because
it's an action adventure, if
It's-
anything.
Yeah, I was about to say it's either an action adventure or
And
it's
not a good
role-playing
one.
game.
yeah, dude, I
don't
just
have-
don't think it was any good. Like that, I'm
They
The-
spent
the
their
only- the
entire
only
budget
reason-
getting the dude, and
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
game
about to say. The
suffered.
only reason why it's on here is because I think is because of the actor, and
Right.
That's the
Like
only
it's
reason
just
why I
not
was
good,
fucking.
man. Like it's just so fucked up. I don't know. It's not a
The,
good
the, wor-
game.
the worst that's one thing that I hate about Far Cry these days is like Far Cry ever since like 3 has not done anything new. It's just been the same bullshit rehashed over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
I can in any time a Far Cry pops up, I can't in right mind vote for it because they've literally done nothing new for the past
You know that they're selling a
15 years.
$10,000 watch for Far Cry 6?
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm surprised that they're not selling a $10,000 NFT of a watch for 5 minutes.
You are not gonna let that die, huh?
No,
Yeah, I wish Ubisoft would just let it go. So
They're leaning hard into this Ubisoft Quartz thing, and
yes, they are.
it's
It's gonna
I'm
be very bad.
I'm on the edge of giving up on
Of course.
Ubisoft games in general.
wow.
I'm
You're
I'm
not gonna
this
play
close.
Rainbow?
If they add NFTs to Rainbow, I can't in good conscience play.
Bro, they're
Rainbow.
gonna
Like,
100%
You'll
add
still play
NFTs in the Rainbow.
Don't give me that shit, Bill. We both know you'll still play Rainbow.
it would be a bad move, man.
They're gonna 100% add NFTs to it, bro. They're doing it with the Ghost right now. Ghost because it's just the game's not.
It's a trial run, man.
Yeah.
They're like, what can we get away with without fucking pissing?
Listen,
Anyways, we let's not get into this. Let's
Yeah,
continue
all
on.
Innovation and accessibility. So recognizing software or hardware that pushes the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Far Cry 6. I don't even know why the fuck Far Cry 6 is on here.
The thing that I wish that they did with these categories was actually like underneath state what exactly the game did innovation wise for accessibility, because like all of these I have no fucking clue what these guys did for innovation.
Yeah, I don't. Well, Forza Horizon 5 did. What did they do? It was something with like the with colorblind mode, like something with colorblind that was like a commonly
They
thing.
added
That's not
colorblind.
no, it's just something that they did with it. I don't know. So let's just kind of. We're gonna say Forza Horizon 5 one, and maybe rightfully so. I can tell you, I don't know what the fuck Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy did. I don't know what the fuck they did. That was
the only thing that I can think of with
innovative.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is that they did the whole if you didn't want to get copyright striked, they did the whole non-copyrightable music. That's the only thing that I can think of for accessibility.
I don't know. Yeah, does that really make it more enjoyable?
Because when it says recognize software and hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help gamers be played, enjoyed, and by an even wider range of audience. That's the only thing that I can think of the Guardians of the Galaxy did.
Can we just give? What was that game that won last year? That was the. It was the adventure, the survival game where in the woods where you're like honey,
one or whatever,
yeah, Honey I
the
Shrunk the
bug
Kids,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just give it back to that because it made the spider into a big jelly bean? Like, so, best VR AR game. So Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, and Sniper Elite 4. I think me and Enigma actually argued on this one when it happened. But
I don't remember.
Well, Resident Evil 4 was the winner. I said Resident Evil 4 didn't deserve to win because I've watched a lot of it and it's really, I don't know. I've seen a lot of fucking jank, but maybe because the part of the jank that I saw was streamers playing it in their fucking like, it's like the terror box or some shit that they have. They have some kind of like horror box.
I don't know. I think the only reason why I was arguing with it was because you were saying, well, you didn't think it deserved it, and I was like, no, 100%. I think that Resident Evil 4 deserved at least. I out of the category right there, out of all of those that were voted on, I think that it deserved it the most out of all of those.
Really?
Just for being yeah, because Sniper Elite VR is terrible. It's janky as shit.
Game's garbage.
Lone Echo, janky as fuck. Like 100%. I Expect You to Die. I wouldn't even say that that's like, it's not enough content, right? Like that's the biggest thing.
It's only like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that we were talking about for a lot of VR games. Is like there's just not enough content in a lot of VR games these days. And Hitman 3, yeah, well, it's great and it's on. You can get it on. It's a VR. I don't think you can get it on PC VR. Can you? I think it's only
it's not a PlayStation. It's not a PlayStation VR, is it? Is Hitman? Is it?
It
really
is a PlayStation. Yeah. I don't know for sure though. I'm not entirely. I think I might be thinking of Hitman 4,
Hold on.
but I'm pretty sure that Hitman 3 was not on PlayStation or on
It's
PC.
on everything.
Is it okay? It might be Hitman 4 then that I'm thinking about because Hitman 4 released and it's a
It's
it's
no, it's
a, what's
not.
called
Oh,
a-
sorry,
No,
sorry.
no, 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 no.
It's not out, but it's going to be coming.
It's
to
coming to
PC.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So-
coming to PC this year.
That's
I was
my only issue.
actually pretty upset about this because I remember when Hitman 3 came out,
Yeah,
the
this is
VR
what we were
version.
talking
We were like, what the fuck? Why is this not coming
Yeah.
out everywhere else?
but there was no reason why it shouldn't have, and the only reason why it didn't come to PC VR is because it went to fucking Epic exclusive. That's the only reason why it didn't come out to PC.
Yeah, but it's a PlayStation game. It's a play.
Yeah,
it's
but that's
only
what
PlayStation.
I'm saying. It also came out. Didn't it come out on PC? And it's on what's it called? It's on
No,
Epic.
it's only on PlayStation.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. It won't come out to PlayStation.
The VR is
Right, Hitman.
Yeah, the VR. I'm not talking about. What I'm saying is that the only reason why we didn't get it on PC is because it didn't come to a platform that had access to VR. You get what you feel you feel.
You're
me? You
saying
get what I'm
because the
saying?
new Hitman game, not the VR game, was an Epic exclusive, which it is. That
Mhm.
held back Hitman 3 VR from coming out.
Is
to-
Hitman 3 not the latest release? Or am I thinking of Hitman 4?
I think it's Hitman 4. Hitman. Maybe it is Hitman 3. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's Hitman 3 because Hitman 3 released on January 20th, 2021.
Then yeah, okay, then it is Hitman 3.
Hitman 3 is the one that came out just barely, and the only reason why we don't have PC VR is because it wouldn't. It's
Okay, I see.
released on,
Okay, I see what you're
what's it
saying.
called?
All right, but okay, if we take that away from it, as
If we
VR,
take that away from
as a
it, and it
VR
was
game.
released on and it was released on PC and everything like that, then yeah, 100%. I would imagine that Hitman 3 VR would have won that.
Yeah,
But the fact of the matter is that there's not enough people with PlayStation VR headsets to have voted for that.
I would have. I probably would still give it to Hitman. Like I'm not taking anything away from Resident Evil 4, but I just dude, it's like Skyrim VR, right? It's like for fuck's sake, man. How many times are we gonna play Resident Evil?
Yeah, but the problem is Resident Evil 4 is an amazing game and deserves all the ports. I own every single port of Resident Evil 4 that I can have.
I mean, I would also argue that Skyrim VR was a very, very big port. Like it wasn't just a straight fucking rehash of the same shit. They actually had to go in and completely remake the game pretty much.
Like I'm showing you guys footage right now of Hitman gameplay.
Oh, I 100%. I agree with you. If Hitman would have been on all platforms, if it would have been on PlayStation and PC, then
I don't know some of the jank I'm seeing right now. Maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't. That's the other problem with this is that VR games in itself are fucking like janky. And the other thing we have to remember too is last year it was Half-Life Alyx, like that was in this category. Like it's very upsetting to go from something like Half-Life Alyx down to stuff like this. And IO
I
Interactive's
think
other
Resident Evil 4 is better than Half-Life Alyx.
you're absolutely not. Absolutely not. Dude, Half-Life Alyx, though I am like not the biggest fan, and I would choose Boneworks over Half-Life Alyx as far as just like games to play. Half-Life Alyx is a fucking masterpiece when it comes to that. Resident Evil 4, though good, is just not like they're still. I don't know.
What can you do in Half-Life Alyx that's so like amazing that it deserves like what makes it that much better than Resident Evil 4 VR?
because Resident Evil 4
give me an example.
Okay, so that the gameplay, like the way that you could play that game was very open-ended. It was not like you weren't lineared into like hallways here doing just this or whatever else. The puzzle solving, though, actually, I will say the Resident Evil 4 puzzle solving, I think, is maybe just a hashtag, like a tick mark above.
Hashtag.
Hash mark above Half-Life Alyx. It just like I don't know how to explain it. I mean, you got to play them both. Like you really do have to play them both to understand. Like
I don't own VR right now yet anyway, but
yeah,
I just don't see like
I mean,
maybe
have you played Resident Evil 4 on VR?
me?
Sin?
No.
then you can't tell him that you got to play
No,
them
no,
both.
I'm
if
saying
you
I'm saying you
yourself
have to
have
play.
not played them both.
I'm right. I'm just saying you have to like. I think that it's I just think that Half-Life Alex.
From what I've seen with Resident Evil 4, they did so much with like the VR combat, and it you said that Half-Life Alex gave you a bunch of different ways of going about doing the combat, and that I would argue Resident Evil 4 does it just the same, if not better. Like from what I've seen, at least. Like they added the ability to be able to dual wield like your weapons. You can have the shotgun in one hand, pistol, or a knife in the other.
I mean, I kind of see what he's talking about though, because I have seen Half-Life Alex, and I think more what he means is like not simply because you can dual wield, and not simply because you can hold a shotgun in one hand or the other. It's more along the lines of like the amount of freedom that they give you inside the world versus Resident Evil 4, where you're basically locked into one place. It's more of a ride than it is an actual adventure, right?
Yeah, it's just there's like the thing about it that especially I think in VR where it's very important to make sure that the player feels like they don't ever feel a disconnect, right? In the sense of from the world. So like if they want to go do something, they can go do it.
But I will say as well though, like Half-Life Alex wasn't released this year. This is
No.
literally one
I'm
of
saying
the
it was
only.
last year. That was last year's.
No, that's what I'm saying is like in conjunction to like what we have on the plate right now this year.
Right.
I think Resident Evil 4 was the better option out of everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I agree. I'm not going to argue it. I don't disagree. Excuse me. I will play. I want to play Hitman 3, and see,
I do too. I just
and
when are
see
we
if
going to do that?
yeah. Well, 2022.
When's it going to come out? I would love to. And that was one thing that when we were talking about, that was one of the reasons why I was extremely pissed about this one, was because the only reason why we're not able to play it on our VR headsets right now is because they went and they took the money from Epic. If it would have released on Steam, it would have been on PC VR.
I don't disagree. I
It's
completely
just
don't.
ridiculous. The fact that they withheld an entire subsection of games because they wanted to get the fucking Epic money. We won't get into that though. I can fucking talk about that for hours. We'll get past we'll get past that.
What's
All
the
right.
next category?
Yep, best community support. Apex Legends, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite,
You
and
already know.
No Man's Sky.
You already know.
Obviously, the winner here was Final Fantasy 14 Online. I mean, is there really an arguing point at this?
No.
I think the only point of potential.
No, and I will fight
contention-
you. I will fight you if you have anything to say.
No, I'm 100% agreeing that Final Fantasy 14, like after finally playing the game and like seeing how the community interacts with people and stuff, it 100% deserves it. Especially with the influx of players that they had recently.
Though
but
I will say,
Apex does a.
not having a good time right now with them. They can.
I think Apex. There's an argument to be made for the Apex Legends community with the stuff that they had to go through and how positive they stayed through most of it. Like, I think there's a point to be made for that, but I do agree Final Fantasy 14
Yeah, I can
deserves
see
to
that. I
stick
mean,
it.
my choices were between my choices were really three of them. It was Final Fantasy, which was going to be a winner regardless. The other two were going to be No Man's Sky and Apex Legends for sure.
So, my question with this is that the way that they describe it, to me, it's the community, right? That is keeping
Yeah.
it alive. It's not the game developers and like their support. Because I mean, they say recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive social media activity, and game updates and patches.
It's basically the community support, like what you're doing for your community is what I think what they're trying to get at. It's not what your community is doing for the game. It's what the community support or the community managers
Right.
are doing for the community that their game is a part of.
Because there's 2 games on here, realistically 3, that I think don't belong here.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is No Man's Sky. Though I get it, like I think it hits on one thing, which is like
It's the game
the,
patches
the,
and
the
updates.
game, yeah, they've
Yeah.
updated, but I think that's like them being like, oh, we got not anymore. I guess they've maybe No Man's
No,
Sky deserves to be on here. I mean,
they've worked well past their
original,
stigma.
right?
Yeah.
So I think No Man's Sky, but Fortnite and Destiny 2 do not deserve to be the fuck on here, man.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like, do Destiny 2, I'm sorry, but if you're a Destiny fan, Bungie has royally fucked you guys over time and time again. And
Everybody thought it was gonna be better whenever Activision left.
I hate to say it, but I said so. I told you so.
like, they have just continued to bend you guys over. Like, so
every time they vault content,
WoW's
every
not
time
on
they
here,
vault
Sigma.
content.
Just want to make sure you get this straight. WoW's not on this category.
I think he's I think he was not at all.
Oh, okay. I was making sure that okay. All right. Okay. I thought you were like saying Destiny deserved it to be on this category. No, Destiny. Yeah, it's dude. They're just
Every time they vault content, it's slap in the face to the community and all the hard work that those players have done. Because
Yeah.
people that like Destiny are very invested in Destiny, and I don't know why they continue to like shine on
Because there's nothing else out there for him.
the loop.
You know what it
Yeah,
reminds.
there's nothing else out there for him.
The second or third time they vaulted like a large chunk of content, I would have been done with it. There's no reason to vault that content. They just did it because they wanted to make people go for like push for the new shit.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me not nearly to the scale of Destiny, but like DBD it has a lot of that kind of stuff. I feel like behavior. Like, there's times where behavior fucking gets it, man, and they're just like with their community and they're on the same page. And there's times behavior just says, I don't fucking care. Like,
well, and see, I think that DBD deserves to be on there more than Destiny deserves to be on.
I don't. Their MMR system was a big slap
You
in
don't
the
think so?
face, and they have they've pissed everybody off in their community with the way that they've done their balancing patches
I'm not-
recently in their MMR.
I'm not
system.
really I'm not really a big DBD player, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
they-
not, like it's
No,
completely in the
this
know.
has been a rough year for DBD.
As a-
right?
as-
Yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like,
the only thing that I know about DBD that they've done that people have been really pissed off about was the removal of the what's it called?
Stranger Things.
The Stranger Things stuff. Yeah, that's legitimately the only thing so far this year that I've heard that people have been like, you guys are fucking idiots.
I don't even take that away from them, because I mean that's a fucking that's a licensing
That's a
issue.
licensing
like
deal.
that's
It is
Yeah.
a licensing issue, but
That-
I think the way that
that-
they handled it could have been better.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I disagree, because I think that they did as best as they could with, because we also don't know the back end terms of what that looked like. Like, Netflix
Yeah.
could have been like, you're going to pay us $14.5 billion for the rights to this. And I mean, there's, you know what I mean? Like, so we don't know that part, but I mean, getting back to it, like, like Bill said, DVDs, last year was, I think, a great year for DVD. This year, I don't think was a very good year for DVD.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big DVD player, so.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy won that one. All right, best mobile game. I don't think there's a contention here for
Genshin Impact.
for this. It was Genshin Impact. There was Fantasian. Don't even know what that is. League of Legends, Wild Rift. Maybe, but it's, I don't know. It's just a dumbed down version of League of Legends. Even though it's very good, it's a dumbed down version of League of Legends. Marvel Future Revolution, which I actually have heard very good things about.
I've heard pretty good things. I tried to play it, but it was just, I don't know. It's a little weird for me. I'm not a big fucking mobile player anyways. So.
And Pokemon Unite was another one that's on here, which again I get, but I don't.
It's got to be Genshin Impact.
Yeah, it's Genshin Impact. And I was actually surprised, because I had a discussion with someone about Genshin Impact and was like, is it really still as big as what it is?
It's huge. Dude.
And then I argue,
I actually just got back into it last week.
really on mobile.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
huge.
I play it on PC and on phone. Yeah.
That was because that was the thing I was asking. It wasn't arguing. I was asking somebody else was like, hey, if I take out the PC side of things, is it still a big game? And they're like, dude, it's
runs
fucking
amazing on phone.
it destroys fucking game, like mobile, like as far as just like the user base, like it's insane, the user base.
They've been doing really well this year alone in 2021. I think that they did a census for how much they've made, and they've made like 1.8 billion off of that game.
It's fucking nuts, man.
And this was like through the 1 year anniversary fiasco that they had, where they got
Yeah.
like downvoted into oblivion on the App Store. It's back up to like a 4.6 or a 4.7 on the App Store.
I mean, do we say that it's probably the best mobile game of all time?
I think right now it's the best.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
It sure as hell ain't Raid Shadow Legends.
Dude, well, come on, man! You don't want the ninja fucking skin guy thing?
Dude, I was all about that game until they did the clan versus clan stuff, and that single-handedly killed that game for me.
Yeah, you sure as hell don't hear anything about it anymore. So, yeah, best debut indie game. All right, so Kena Bridge of Spirits, Sable, The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, and Valheim. Kena won. Any arguments here on this one?
Valheim has the I think Inscription should be on here as well. I think Inscription deserves a.
Which one was this again?
This was best debut indie game.
What were the ones again?
Kena, Bridge of Shadows or Bridge of Spirits, Sable, The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, and Valheim. It's two of those games I've not heard of. The Artful Escape and The Forgotten City. I have not heard of those.
Are you sure?
Am I sure what?
I'm looking at best indie game, and that's not the one.
It's not best debut indie game.
Oh, best debut. Okay, I was like, what the fuck is he talking?
Yeah, it's one's created by New Independent Studios.
No, I don't have any arguments about that, honestly. Like,
I mean, Kena was fucking good, man.
I think Kena
it's an
definitely
amazing game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Kena definitely even over Valheim, and you guys know I fucking love Valheim. I think there's an
argument to be made for Valheim.
I think there is too, but I think that when you look at like the quality compared to Valheim for Kena, and the fact that
100%.
Kena's studio, while they had Sony backing, Kena's studio was a very small studio, and the fact that they did all of this with that small of a studio, granted, again, with Sony's fucking this is one source of contention that I always have with these kinds of games, right? I don't feel like you can call yourself an indie developer when you have Sony backing. Right?
Well, that's
like,
why
I think at that point you turn into a developer. You're just a developer.
So that's the question here is because Kena also won best indie game.
Yeah.
So I would almost say Valheim.
I would say
Valheim probably deserves this category's best debut indie game, because if Kena would have still created this game, if the studio would have still created this game, which again is a fucking work of art. Like, the game is a fucking Pixar movie without Sony's money, because that's the question I have, is how much of this is Sony's money, right? If they take Sony's money away from it, can they produce this? Can they still do this without Sony's backing? With Valheim, it's all them, right? Like it's it, you know? So I would almost say Valheim, I think, deserves this category for just because of the studio.
I would put Inscription on there, and I would probably vote for Inscription.
Has Inscription, have they done anything else though? Because
it hasn't been out that long.
No, not Inscription, the studio. Because that's the thing about this, is it has to be a new studio.
It's a new independent studio.
Oh,
so it's not just the best debut indie game.
I misunderstood. I thought it was.
I have to agree with you. I think that I would have personally went with Valheim for this category.
Yeah, see, the Inscription team has done other stuff. They've done Pony Island,
Devolver Digital. Yeah, they've done a bunch of
Devolver Digital has been a tough.
Well, that's the publisher. No. Danny Mullins Games is the one, and he's done 3 other games. He did the Hex and Pony Island.
So I fucking love Pony Island.
So that's probably why you like Inscription. So that's why he's on this
I would
one.
definitely vote for Valheim off of.
Yeah, I would have to give this to Valheim. Though again, you know, fuck.
Not taking anything away from Kena. Like 100%, I think that Kena deserves every fucking award that they got. Right, and I think they got this one and one other, if I remember correctly. But 100%, I think that Valheim would fit this specific category better.
Yeah, and I'm showing footage of Valheim right now so you guys can see it. It really is a very good game. I mean, artistically, completely different style than what you're used to seeing. And it is a very harsh survival game in a lot of ways. But it's a very good game. And it's set in a setting that we don't get very often, which is a Viking setting. I will say that I think we can all agree, or I know that me and Enigma can agree to this, is that they have been pretty lax on their content. Like they
There hasn't
need,
been any content. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
they
the
need to
worst part
keep
about them.
they
Is
need
like
to
they
keep producing
legitimately
stuff.
need to get their asses to get in sync and start putting out content because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's holding the game back.
It really is. Yeah.
All right, so now obviously we've talked about this. So best indie game. This was
Kenna
Kenna.
have this one.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, Canada can
Inscription.
100% have that.
So Inscription was in there,
Though-
Bill.
Though I will say that I have heard very good things about 12 minutes. Like extremely good things about 12 minutes.
I've watched a lot of 12 minutes, man, and it's just not my game. It's just not.
I'm just saying I have heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
And and Death's Door, honestly. Like
Well,
I watched you play Death's Door,
yeah.
and I've watched a couple other people play Death's Door. I thought it was a really good game.
Death's Door was here's what I played Death's Door. I love Death's Door. Death's Door doesn't win. There's no I mean it's a good game, but Death's Door does not do anything new. It doesn't do anything exciting. It's not like it's just a good game.
I don't really think that Inscription does anything new and exciting though. In
What,
my
Inscription?
opinion.
It
Inscription
100%
absolutely does. Inscription is
No.
very different. Like it's
Every time I've watched it, I've just been like, it's just another fucking card game.
it doesn't.
I'm not a big fan of card games.
Right. Yeah.
The card game aspect I can understand. It's the way the loop works in the escape room
Yeah.
aspect of it, like that horror.
Granted, I haven't watched a ton of Inscription because again, I'm not a big card game fan. Like I
Yeah,
don't
that's
like
fair.
those types of games. But to me, it just doesn't look like it's done a lot. I mean, I'm sure I think that they deserve a part or a slot in that category for sure.
Yeah.
I think that they did enough of like I do like the fact that I like the art style. And I think the art style they did a really good job with.
The one game on here that I think doesn't get enough praise and it does deserve to be on this list is Loop Hero. I think Loop Hero it is a very cool game. Like have you guys watched I played it for a
I
little
watched
bit.
you play it like once. I was like, okay, it's cool.
Have
but
you
I
played it
don't know.
or seen it, Bill?
I've watched a little bit of it. It looks like once you've done it, you.
I mean, well, it's a loop. I mean, it's not it's not like
It
it's
doesn't
anything
seem
crazy.
like there's a lot to
Yeah.
experience outside of.
It's
I don't know.
I mean, it's a roguelike game, right? But it's I don't know. It's different. Does it win this category? Absolutely not. Right? Like Kenna is a fucking powerhouse. You're talking about
There's no way that Kenna was not going to win this.
right. Like
category.
it's a powerhouse of a game. But I just Loop Hero, just go check it out. Like it's a very different game. It's and they've actually come out with a couple different some other loops, which I am a little upset about because they have Loop Hero. And it's like, all right, so we're just not Loop Hero, Loop there's another Loop Heroes this one. There's another loop game that they came out with that is like, all right, so you're not going to do anything else with this, which is a reason why I could not stand oh shit. There was a game that came out that they literally released one, and before one was even done, they're like, "Hey, we're kickstarting number 2," and it's like, "What the fuck?" Like, you're not even like the one just came out. So, it was I forgot the name of the game. I have to go look at it. It's like Everfall, I think is the name of it, or something like that.
Everspace.
Everspace, that's it. Everspace 2, Everspace 1 and 2. Anyway, Loop Hero. I don't know. It's good. I liked it. So,
Like I said, there was no way Kenna was.
no, absolutely. Best ongoing game. So Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact.
14.
It's between Apex and 14.
Yeah,
for me, it's 14.
Sorry,
Apex
you
has
to
done
answer.
a lot of really good things, though. It is a
Apex,
tight
yeah, man.
competition in that
Apex is
regard.
My biggest thing is like in retrospect, like which one of them's been doing it longer. If we're going off of ongoing games, Final Fantasy has been ongoing a lot longer than Apex.
Yeah, but I almost think that's a negative against it. Like in
How
this
is that a negative?
in this category, because I just
How is that a negative?
because you're talking about a game that
you have a
Motherfucker,
game that
I
is
can't
ongoing
talk.
so much that it deserves a fucking category.
because what
What?
I'm saying is that 14 has been going on for how long now? I mean, it's
Since like 2012, yeah.
it's like
been
going
going
on
on for
pushing
a
on
while.
10 years, right?
Yeah.
Bill and I are talking about Apex Legends contending with this in a game that has only been out roughly maybe 3 years, right? So
I think the thing that keeps Apex Legends low is they had a very big dip in the middle. Like it's only bounced back in popularity over this last
I don't.
couple of years.
I wouldn't even say that Apex contends with Final Fantasy at all. I don't know what you're talking.
But you're not a BR fan. You're also not a
I don't.
you're not a
Even if
shooter
I
fan.
wasn't, even if I was a BR fan, looking at the player bases for the two, I would imagine the Final Fantasy has a bigger player base.
Well, absolutely, Final Fantasy's got a bigger player base.
So what are you talking about contention wise? There's no contention.
I'm saying that because that in the short amount of time that Apex
What a
has been
fist
out,
fight
like
you
it's
right now.
bro. Somebody can say something bad against Final Fantasy. Jesus Christ, you tell me that Lost Ark's never coming out. I don't want to hear it. But I'm just saying. I'm not saying that that Apex doesn't win that wins this category. I get why Final Fantasy 14 wins it. Like, I mean, like this, you can't say anything bad against. I mean, you guys are almost to the WoW level where like you guys say something bad against WoW.
Do you think that it would have won without the Asmongold swap over?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have.
Asmongold did not make it popular. Asmongold made it extremely popular. Asmongold put it into the position that it's in right now, where we're having issues not being able to get people on the fucking game.
Is
But
that
we still
Asmongold
have
though?
queues. What's that?
Is it really Asmongold that did it and not WoW? That
Yeah,
did it?
that's what I'm saying. Is like before Asmongold even touched it, WoW was already dying. WoW was already bleeding subscribers over to Final Fantasy 14 at an ungodly rate.
So
I think
that
one way or the other on it, but
I think that
was just
Asmongold was
curious.
like the knife in the fucking heart that was twisted for sure. I think that definitely opened up the floodgates.
Let me word it this way. Let me word maybe Bill's question a little bit differently. Do you think WoW not going through what WoW went through, right? And because WoW's been bleeding, you're right, over the last umpteen amount of years. WoW's throat got completely slit and the blood is just pouring out because of all of the stuff that's going on with Activision and Blizzard and all that shit. If that had not happened this year and we just were to stay the same course, right, and status quo, do you think that it makes this list?
I don't know. I'm not sure with that one because it was popular prior to to the whole debacle with them not being able to keep their hands in their hands to themselves and shit.
Right.
But I don't know if it was like an ungodly, because I don't remember it being was it in a category last year?
I mean, I could go and look and see if it was in there or not.
I don't remember if it was in a category last year or not. And if it was, I would imagine that was probably like when it first started becoming like insanely popular.
Because
I think it was in a category last year. I think it was in this category. I don't think it won, but I think it was in this category.
Because for me, there's two big things for this category that pushed Final Fantasy 14 over the edge. One is the situation that it's in, right? And here's the thing, right? Like, we can take all that away, but it doesn't change the fact of like that did occur and that is happening and that is what's going on. So rightfully, right now, in this bubble that we are in, this is the winner of the game or of this category. But it's the event that happened with Activision, and then on top of that, Endwalker coming out. If we take both of those away, which are two huge takeaways, right? Which you rightfully can't necessarily take away, but if we do take them away, I think that there is a thing here where it says Apex is the winner of this category. Because though there was a falling out from Warzone, right, and you had Nick Mercs and all of them go over there, I don't think that boosted Apex's ongoing support any differently. Like, I think that they got an influx of players, but I don't think that it changed, Apex's trajectory any.
Well, the same could be said for Final Fantasy at that point. What I'm saying is like the same can be said about Final Fantasy, right? If they were still doing the same thing, I think it still would have had the same population and the same popularity that it had at that point before it got a boost.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what Bill's saying. Like,
I do think there's an argument to be made for Apex in this
category. I'm not arguing.
I do think Final Fantasy deserves the win.
I'm not saying that Apex doesn't deserve to be in here, and I'm not saying that Apex is not a good game.
Does League deserve to be in here?
Not a contender. But what I am saying is that in contention, in comparison to Final Fantasy at this current moment, there's no question.
Let me throw a hypothetical in here. Does League deserve to be in here? And before quick answer. Does League deserve to be in here? Because think about what League has now spawned off. Because of League, it has spawned off the what's the game that they just did? The Blood
Ruin King?
Ruin King. God, man, fuck. I cannot remember anything. But yeah, the Ruin King. We have Project L coming. We have the Arcane series. Does League deserve to be on here? And if League does deserve to be on here, does League take the category?
The better question is, what league are you talking about? Are you talking about League of Legends, the MOBA, or are you talking about their new game? That's the problem with it. Are you talking about Riot and it does of itself, or are you talking about a specific game?
I'm talking about League of Legends as it is, like
League of Legends itself, the game. I don't think deserves to be on here.
No, I agree with that. It doesn't. Now, if there was a game company of the year,
Yeah,
then I think Riot.
if there was like an
has-
innovative a company for innovation, 100% Riot has it, because that's what they've been doing this entire year is innovate.
So why does it not deserve to be on here as an ongoing game?
Because even you don't want to play League.
What? I don't play Final Fantasy. I don't want to play Final Fantasy. I don't want to. I don't want to play Apex.
You would play Final Fantasy right now. You don't want to touch a League.
That's because of the state that it is in, that the season is
Exactly.
in. But but that doesn't change the fact that it's still an ongoing game.
It's in a state that people don't want to play it. It's not an ongoing game that people want to play.
I would almost challenge the fact that the category says that content that evolves the player's experience over time. It's evolved to a point of I don't want to
League
play
has
it.
literally been the same game.
League-
since
League
its
hasn't-
inception.
Well,
League has
it's-
its-
Any new content
Well,
they're trying to
hold
push
on.
into the
Wait,
game-
Think- wait.
League
Enigma, think about
League
your
has not evolved.
Enigma.
The League has
Enigma,
not
think about your
evolved. League has
statement.
devolved.
Enigma, think about your statement of where the game is at right now. If you both logged into League and played League, it is different than
It
what
would
it's
still
ever
be
been.
in the same
No,
state as to where I left.
okay, the toxicity, yes, but like the
No,
map has changed, the
actual
game has
gameplay
changed.
Would be in the same state as I left it, as from where I left.
Well, I mean, it's a MOBA, but so is 14. Okay, well, we can go round and round. I'm just saying, I'm gonna talk to you guys about this after the fact. Maybe not tonight, but whenever you guys are well rested, we're gonna talk about it. Maybe. And
I'm not saying that League of Legends isn't a good ongoing game. I'm just saying I don't think.
I think it deserves to be on here over fucking Call of Duty
saying that I
or
don't
Fortnite.
think it, I mean, for Call of Duty, yeah, I can agree with it. For Fortnite and Call of Duty, I would say that it deserves to be on there.
I
Over
think
at least Call
League of
Duty.
Legends deserves to be on here over Call of Duty. And actually, I will say that League of Legends deserves to be on here for Call of Duty. And because of that, I actually think that League of Legends would take the win from Final Fantasy.
No, you're crazy.
I think you're crazy too.
That's fine.
Personally.
Games for Impact. How many more categories we have? We have like, fuck, dude. Okay.
We got a lot.
All right, we're gonna maybe burn through some of these quickly.
Speed round.
Actually, Games for Impact for thought-provoking games with pro
Well,
social.
let's skip that one. Move
Okay.
it on.
Yeah, I was about to say this one I could give a fuck less about, honestly.
Let's just say about whether or not we give a fuck or not about it. The fact of the
It's
category is
not-
this
it's not
category
a
is on there for
surprise to me
a
that
very
it-
specific reason. Like this category is on here for a very specific reason.
Yeah, the game that won this, it's not a surprise to me that it won. Let's just put it.
Best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. This I agree. And this woman is fucking tall.
Dude,
So it's Erica Mori from
insanely
Life is Strange.
Like she embodies it.
Giancarlo Esposito for Far Cry 6, Jason E. Kelly for Deathloop, Maggie Robertson, Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village, she was the winner. She was Mommy Maggie. Or Mommy, what was it?
Mommy Milkers.
Mommy,
Mommy
yeah, what was her
Milkers,
name?
Dimitrescu.
Lady,
Damascus
yeah,
or
that was it.
Dimitrescu
Not
or
Mommy
whatever.
Milkers. Fuck. And then Ozuyama Akaga for Deathloop. I actually did want to see one of the Deathloop people win because I really do like their fucking voice acting, and I think that Jason E. Kelly did a phenomenal job with the main character for Deathloop. But Maggie Robertson, I mean, she killed it.
So what
Yeah.
I will say is that I think that she deserved to win. I think that Maggie Robertson was definitely 100% embodied. Like she herself embodies that character. It's crazy. Like watching her walk up there, I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
But I will say that Giancarlo Esposito, I think, while I don't like the game, I think that he himself did a very good job with the character. But to his
agree.
point, he does an extremely good job with any fucking character. So that's really hard to fucking vote for.
I also agree. My issue with him being in this category in general is I don't like mainstream Hollywood actors taking a spot
No.
in like
VAs.
yeah.
I think
That's
that
my take on it. He did do a good job with the role, even if the game is shit, but it just feels disingenuous to like the gaming community to have if he would
Yes.
have won that to have had
It's like giving the award to for best actor in like a child acting fucking competition to like I don't know like
like a Keanu Reeves, but they
yeah,
did
Keanu Reeves,
they
you know.
changed him and automatic and imaged him down to
Yeah.
make it a little kid. Yeah, I get it.
It's one of
I
those
just-
things where it's
I-
like yeah
I think he's
completely
I
agree.
think he's a typecasted character in all of his roles are the fucking
He
same.
100% is, but the
So-
fact of the matter is, like each one of his typecasts, each one of his typecast characters is played extremely fucking well.
Yeah, they're all the same. I don't know. Anyway,
It might be all the same, but the performances, you can't tell me that his
I'm
performance.
not saying he does a bad job as a performance. I'm just saying I don't think that it's. I'm just like,
That's the entire category though, is the performance.
I don't know. I mean,
I
it's,
agree with
It's
you.
like
I agree.
it's
I
like if
agree that
Keanu, it's like if
Maggie Robertson
Keanu Reeves
should
was
have
in
won.
this for fucking Cyberpunk. I'd be like, bro, it's the same. He's the same
I
goddamn
don't
character
know
everywhere.
why. I don't know why he wasn't in this, by the way.
Because he's the same. I don't know. You're true. I don't know why he's in there.
I actually don't know why either. I wouldn't want him to win, but I don't know why he's not in the
Yeah,
category.
I don't know why he wasn't in this category.
I would have put
because he
him in
didn't
that
really-
over Esposito. I
he
would have.
did a phenomenal job with Johnny.
So all right. Best audio design, recognizing. So we're all saying Maggie Robertson wins it for Resident
Yeah,
Evil, right?
100%.
Yep,
She wants it.
okay. Best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design: Deathloop, Forza 5 Horizon, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. Forza Horizon 5 won. I agree. I've listened to that game, and
I agree.
I love cars, and I could fucking sit there and listen to those
The
engines
sound
all day
is
long.
the
It's
sound is
insane.
crazy in that game. Yeah.
Yep.
The only argument to be made would be Ratchet and Clank, and I don't think it is much of an argument,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my opinion.
Best score in music. I completely adamantly disagree with this and completely think that the game should have. There's a certain game on here that should have won. For outstanding music, inclusive score, original, maybe. Well, no, because it says original song and or licensed soundtrack.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk
Yep.
2077, Deathloop, near replicant version. I'm not going through all those fucking numbers. That's the one that won. Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy and The Artful Escape. I'm fucking sorry, but Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy had the best fucking soundtrack and the best
100%.
like the not
Original songs.
like
Or the entirety of the original, what's it called? What was the name of the band that he likes? It's Star Lord.
Star shit.
Star Lord. It was Star Lord.
Is that the name of the group? The group was
I
Star
think
Lord.
that's the name of that group. Yeah.
Wait,
hold on. Let me see.
not even just the fact that it had all of this licensed music, which was fucking amazing, but the way that they meshed that into the fucking game, and like you have these moments of like you get your team together and you pep them up, and then you go in and like all this like 80s music kicks in, like, and you fucking just kicking ass. It's so fucking good. Like it deserves to win.
But have you heard a Square Enix soundtrack?
Yes, I've heard Square Enix soundtracks. I know that Square Enix makes phenomenal music. I literally, if I have to go into like a chill mode, I will sit there and fucking listen to Final Fantasy music all goddamn day long.
So it's I think it's Star Lord is the name of it, and Space Rider was the name of the band.
Yeah, Space Rider.
But 100%, like I think the Guardians of the Galaxy wins this 100%.
Like,
Because like when you take it down to the bare minimums of what they want the category to be, right? It says for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original songs, and or licensed soundtracks. There's no other game on this list that had a more original song and soundtrack and had more licensed music.
And did it well. Like how
And
how
did
they
it well.
how they put it together. Like, like I'm not gonna take anything away. So Bill, are you saying Nier should
the
have
only
won?
thing that I would argue is that Cyberpunk did have an insanely good soundtrack.
That's true. But it doesn't beat Guardians, man. I'm sorry.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is, but what I am saying is that it did have a phenomenal fucking sound. So did Deathloop, honestly, though. So
Yeah, but definitely doesn't hang. It's good, but it doesn't
Deathloop
hang
doesn't,
in this.
but it
Like,
did have a very good soundtrack.
so talk to me about Nier, Bill.
I haven't played the game. I just like Square Enix's music composition.
I don't.
Every game they do, it's nothing but bangers.
I don't know.
I think in any music category, a Square Enix game needs to at least be represented. I'm not gonna argue against what you guys are saying just
I'll
because I
say
haven't
that.
played Nier. I haven't played.
They
Guardians of the
do an
Galaxy.
extremely good job
Oh.
with their original soundtracks.
Absolutely.
for
I'm
sure.
not saying that Nier shouldn't be on here. I'm just saying that I don't think Nier should have fucking won. Based on
I also give more value to 100% original composition than I do licensed soundtracking.
yeah, but
That's just a me thing.
Yeah, but they legitimately had like Marvel's the Galaxy, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy had like a 15 track CD that was entirely up of their own making.
if you buy, so just so if you know, and this I'm not arguing a point, but if you just so you know, if you buy the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, it's legitimately all of the licensed music that they had, which is insane, plus the 15 fucking tracks from the original band that they or the band that they created, like in there. It's nuts. Like it's like fucking 60 songs. So
It's an insane amount.
yeah. Best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. This was a pretty contentious one as well, but yeah. So it's Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, The Artful Escape, and Deathloop 1 for best art direction.
I don't think the Deathloop should have won this. I think it should have been Canada.
I think Kenna deserves it, and then Ratchet.
Yeah.
Really, because I would have actually given it to either Ratchet or Deathloop, and I think Deathloop would have won because I think I love their styling. I love the
Really?
like, yeah, dude, that's like 60s, 70s, but like
I agree with you, but you would have given Deathloop over Kenna?
Kenna's very pretty, but I've seen it before. But we've seen it before, right? Like, and that's
Deathloop
in a
before with Dishonored
movie?
1 and 2.
I would say
They did very little to change their artistic stylings from the Dishonored franchise to the Deathloop franchise.
I don't know, man. I
Besides like cutscenes and
disagree. I think that it's more We Happy Few. It's more closer related to that than it would be to I think the combat system and style and like I can understand some of the character like design a little bit of like the way that they are like like literally standing and structured and like modeled, but I would put more emphasis on We Happy Few.
I'm just saying, yes, we've seen Kenna in movies, but we've never seen that much fidelity in video games.
Actually, you know, did what's that one fucking game that I do not like that you and Scruffy absolutely love?
That's
Biomutant?
a huge list, sir. That is a gigantic.
Yeah, I get it. Biomutant. Didn't Biomutant come out this year? Or did Biomutant come out last year?
It came out last year, I think. It wasn't. It was this
No,
year.
I think it came out this year, right?
Yeah, it was this year. Yeah.
I actually would have put Biomutant on this category.
I mean, I would have put it in there. I don't think it would have. I don't think it should have won, but
I'm not saying it would have won, but I'm just saying I think it should have been in here.
Over Artful Escape, personally, I don't think that Artful Escape looks all that.
I'm not taking anything out of here. I'm saying I would have added in Biomutant into the category. I think it was a very uniquely designed game.
It was a unique looking game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it should have won. I think that again. I think that Kenna wins all this hands down.
Yeah, I disagree, but I'm happy with the winner here. So, Bill, you say Kenna should have won?
Kenna Kenna, because Ratchet and Clank is just a higher fidelity version of what we've seen with Ratchet past.
Okay, so we have 3 more categories. That's it. So best narrative is storytelling and narrative development in the game. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonaut 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I agree. As crazy as it sounds, because again, I think it was too long. The story in that game, like, it's deep, it's fucking dark, it's touching, it brought a tear to my eye. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, deserves it.
So for me, and I know this is going to be a shock, but for me, I agree with you. I think Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy deserves this. But this is one of the categories that I think that It Takes Two should have had a better chance of winning, because I think that It Takes Two does do a very good job with their narrative and their storytelling.
Yeah, well, I was actually
I don't think it should have won over Guardians of the Galaxy, because I completely agree with you, but I do think that this would have been a very good this was a very good contention game for Marvels of the Galaxy for sure.
I think Life is Strange has a good shot in this category too, just considering that whole game franchise is built around storytelling, and they do a very good job with the storytelling, whether you enjoy the subject matter or not.
True. I just don't want to go the subject.
Yeah.
I actually am surprised that
I'm surprised
that
it didn't win,
Cyberpunk is not in this, because I also think that the story in Cyberpunk. What's up?
I
Disagree?
and I do, but I don't have anything to argue about it. I don't know why I disagree. I don't.
I just think the narrative,
Nothing's ever compelled me to like dive into the Cyberpunk story.
it's a good story, man.
It is a good story.
It's a very good story, and it's very well written, and the dialogue in it is very good. It would be a hard toss up between Guardians of the Galaxy and Cyberpunk for me if Cyberpunk was actually in this.
If Cyberpunk had been on this, I think it should have, for sure. I think it has a far better story than the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Resident Evil Village wasn't on there. I don't think it
So
would
am I,
have won,
actually.
but I'm surprised
So
it's not
am
on
I.
there.
I'm surprised the Psychonauts is on here because I have not heard all that much about Psychonauts' fucking story.
the thing about Psychonauts is that it's what it's telling and how it tells its story about like mental health and stuff like that is the way.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then why wasn't there? Well, I guess the fucking Hellblade.
Hellblade wasn't last year though.
Yeah, Hellblade
So
wasn't last year.
it was
Yeah.
several years old. I trust me,
Speaking of
Hellblade.
which, I'm calling it for next year. Best voice, like best acting, is going to be the main character of Hellblade.
Oh, absolutely. I think best narrative is going to go to her
because she killed it in the first game, and it's only going to be better from what we've seen.
Well, the preview that we saw was already insanely good.
I think the best narrative is going to go to Hellblade as well. And I also think best game direction is going to go to fucking Hellblade. I think Hellblade's going to take a lot of categories here.
Hellblade will take the inclusive thing as well. The fucking whatever.
All right, so best game direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I actually have issues with several of these games that are on here. I don't think they should have been in here. I don't think Ratchet and Clank.
Out of that list, I think It Takes Two or Returnal.
Yeah, I don't.
Myself.
Yeah,
those are the only two that actually make sense in this category, in my opinion.
I think It's Take Two probably should have won this one over Deathloop for sure, because I think Deathloop had a cool idea and concept behind it, but I don't put that in as the best game direction. Like I don't know. Maybe
yeah,
it's
but
hard.
if you look at it as how they describe it, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Deathloop did do a decent amount.
The co-op, the PvP aspect of it, I think carries Deathloop a long way with that one. Other than if it wasn't for that, it was just more of the same from that dev. But I do think that PvP aspect pushes it above. I don't think it should have won, but
it's hard because again, do we consider It Takes Two story? Because let's be honest, like that has been the whole talking point throughout this entire podcast.
I think in this category, story does play a factor.
So
it's what's carrying Returnal in my mind, because Returnal has a very good story to it too, even if the ending makes no goddamn sense.
Well, see, I don't agree with that because like to me, what they're looking for out of this is like innovation in the game direction and design, not the story. Right.
There's
so
a lot of
they're looking for a game that has done something unique that we haven't seen. We've seen a lot of that, of what It Takes Two does. We haven't seen a ton of what Deathloop does.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? We've seen a lot of what Returnal does. We've seen a lot of what Psychonaut does. We've seen a lot of what Ratchet.
Like I don't think Ratchet. Like okay, I can see both sides. Like I see where Bill's coming from, and I see where Enigma's coming from, and I lean on both sides because like I think that if you it's hard because like It Takes Two, the only thing that It Takes Two did was that it took a really edgy story that forces people to look at look, 50% of marriages end in divorce. I mean that's just, and actually it's a lot higher now. I think it's even higher now, not a lot, but it's even higher now. So reality is that majority of us on the show have gone through a parent that went through divorce, right? It forces you to talk about it and think about it. And then it presents it in a very different way, right? Through the eyes of a child in their toys. It is a touching thing. It hit home, right? But like if we take that element out of it, what it does it doesn't do anything innovative. It doesn't do anything different. It doesn't do anything crazy out of the box. It's just a fucking co-op game. When you add the story in, it adds a whole nother element to it. So like, I understand both sides of it. I was actually going to say that like Psychonauts, and I don't think Psychonauts or Ratchet and Clank should be on this list because Ratchet and Clank, the only thing about it is just the Rift shit. Aside from that, it's a Ratchet and Clank game.
That's what I've said all night. Is like the only thing that Ratchet and Clank really did was the rifts and the fidelity of it. It just upscaled the fidelity.
Like the two to me that actually are different in here and deserve this is Deathloop and Returnal. And the only reason I lean into Deathloop, even though it's very difficult for me to say that it's the winner, is that even Returnal, I don't know if it does anything crazy different. But I didn't play it, Bill. You played it. I don't know.
To me, Returnal was just a shooter, essentially. It was just a Dark Souls shooter.
Bullet hell.
In its simplest term. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
and while yes, we haven't seen too many Dark Souls shooters, it's still the same.
Is there a game that deserves to be on this list that's not here?
It was a shit year for games.
It was a shit year for games. I can't. Trying to think of anything that I can think of that was innovative this year. The only thing I can think of would be
like I almost go back to Tribes of Midgard. We've said this a lot, but like Tribes did something very different. It brought in like the base building, base defense element, but also brought in like a whole RPG kind of style. I mean, I'm not saying it deserves. I'm just throwing it out there, right? Does is that maybe it's just not a big enough game to be on here?
I don't think it did that much different. It's still it's an isometric. It has like aspects of like the Don't Starve, but it's more action oriented. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a really rough year this year for new ideas, I think.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that I off the top of my head am like, yeah, that deserves to be in there.
Okay. All right, big one, ending one, game of the year. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village. It Take Two was the winner of this one.
And I think it deserves it, genuinely. I'm okay with it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I've posted all up on Twitter that it's a good game. I think it deserved to be in there, but I don't think it deserved to be game of the year. I think that personally, in my opinion, out of those games that are in that category, I think Resident Evil Village should have gotten that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
for me, it was a toss up between Village or Ratchet and Clank.
Resident Evil Village was my favorite game this year. I haven't played It Takes Two, but I can understand the appeal for it. I understand, like, as a package, I think It Takes Two did everything it wanted to do and then more. I do think it was a very well crafted product in general. And
yeah, but you were saying that you think that It Takes Two did more than Resident Evil Village.
I don't know, man. It's
that's my biggest issue with it. Is like I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, we've got
because
a game.
Resident Evil Village appeals to my gamer taste.
Well, no, not even the fact that it appeals. I'm just looking out of sheer what you got, right? Yes, It Takes Two was a good game. I'm not taking that away from it. 100%. I will agree till the cows come home that it was a good game. I completely agree with you. I think it deserves to be in that category, but I don't think it won over Resident Evil Village. Personally,
can you play It Takes Two by yourself? Here's the let's
No.
you have to have somebody else to play with.
You have to have somebody else on the other side. Yeah.
Then I think that automatically disqualifies this game because you're cutting out a huge amount of people that just can't play the game. Like reality, like sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
I mean, it's the fact that I have to have somebody else to play with. Like, and I get it. They give you a key. They're basically like, hey, buy one copy, get two free, or get one free. Is because you have to. Like, I like, and I've watched Scruffy try to play this, and it doesn't work. So like the element that they have tried, whether it's like internet connection or whatever else, the reality is still I can't play the game because the co-op didn't function with someone that I wanted to play co-op with.
You see, I've never heard anybody have issues besides Scruffy.
Yeah,
with
that's
It
the
Takes
same
Two.
with me. Let's be real.
I
I think the
I think it's
biggest
a Scruffy
reason that
issue
I think
on
the
that
biggest
one.
reason that Scruffy had issues was because the person that he was playing with didn't have a
Right.
decent.
Okay, but
There you-
but at the same time, right? But can we like? I mean, understand that it's not a common thing or whatever else. But
Yeah.
like, we've not
No, I
googled. I've
agree.
not googled it. But can we? For if I were to have Scruffy in here right now, he would be like, absolutely not. The game doesn't function. I have like, not saying he. Okay, I'm speaking very harshly, but I'm saying it would be a point that I would bring up to him, be like, well, Scruff, you can't play the game. You haven't been able to play the game. So can you honestly say that it still deserves game of the year? If he were to say yes, it was, like, because it is an aspect for him. The reality is that he can't play this game.
Well, I mean, alternatively, if we're going to do that, I haven't played it, and I'm saying that it's not game of the year. Can I rightfully say that because I
Well,
haven't played it, I can't say that?
But
It
you're not
wasn't
you're
game
not
of the year?
but you're not saying it's the points that you're arguing aren't the fact that it's good or
Yeah.
bad. You're arguing that it doesn't do anything
understand where you're
different.
coming
Like
from.
that.
I'm just
That's
saying,
my
if you want to look at it as a a devil's advocate, that can be said on both ends.
well, right. But at the same time, it also, but like I said, he has actively tried to play this game. You know what I mean? Like that's my point. Is like he's actively trying to play it, and he can't do it. And Plague brings up a point. Like, yes, I get that the creator wants to prove that couch co-ops are still fun, but what about people that can't that don't have someone to play? Like that don't have someone there to play with.
And the biggest thing is, like, again, I'm not saying that it's not a good game. I'm not saying that it's not a fun game. I'm not saying that the couch co-op isn't enjoyable. I just personally think that in comparison, what you got from It Takes Two, which was a very linear storyline, a very linear, you had to play it a certain specific type of way, right? Compared to Resident Evil, which, while still being a linear storyline, you could still play it in a way that you wanted to personally play it. And the amount of shit that you got out of Resident Evil, I think that in comparison, it's apples and oranges. It has there's no
Like, and honestly too, I would say, like, if we're gonna talk about like proving couch co-op or whatever else, why not Wildermyth then? Which Wildermyth would not hang in this category by any means.
wouldn't have hanged. Yeah.
But Wildermyth, it's a couch co-op game and it does single player just fine. Like in fact, I think it does drop in, drop out co-op phenomenally. Like, so I know we're getting off track, which we don't
Yeah.
need to because we're wasting time.
It's definitely. I mean, I see why it was chosen. I do. I think that this game, It Takes Two. I said it when we first started the podcast. I think that It Takes Two was this year's
Last of Us.
Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
I think it was just that was this year's fucking golden boy was It Takes Two, and it was legitimately almost on every category. So
Yeah, Bill. I'm actually surprised, man. I thought you would have said Resident Evil.
I am too. I am actually.
For sure.
Yeah, I might just be fucking tired, but
Oh man, I mean, if you like it, you like it. Like that, I'm not taking it away.
I like what the game was going for. I like
Yeah.
what the developers envisioned for
And-
it. I think the forced co-op, while it's inconvenient and it does cut off an audience that could potentially enjoy the game, I'm also of a mindset that not every game needs to appeal to, like,
For sure.
not every game needs to be accessible to every video game player. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with
I
you.
think
Yeah.
I think both it and Village, like one of those two, and I'm okay with It Takes Two being the winner, even if I did personally for myself enjoy Village. And I will agree with you, Enigma, that Village has quite a bit more content and versatility in how you can enjoy it than what
Yeah, that's my
It Takes
only
Two
point.
does. But It Takes Two is a very like concept, like it has its vision, it hones in on it.
Like
And I can
Like-
respect that.
like if we go off of the category, if they go off of what they describe the category as, right? Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields, right? To me personally, I think that Resident Evil delivered on that more than It Takes Two. But that's just my personal opinion. Like, again, like I said, the game is great.
It's
I've watched
very
people play it.
close.
I've watched people play it. It's an enjoyable time. I like the narrative. I like the I like the gameplay to an extent. I think that the puzzles were interesting and intriguing, and they did a really good job with the puzzles. Right. I think that the banter between the two people and the you know everything that was done between the NPCs and the characters was done very well. But to me, Resident Evil did all that better, like by a long shot.
Fair.
Yeah, I actually would have put it between Metroid Dread and Resident Evil.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Metroid Dread. I think I was on the fence until you literally and you said it, and I went back to reread like this, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. I think Metroid Dread did just a phenomenal job with so many things, and took Metroid back to not only its roots but still hit on old and new for Metroid. And from a game that the last good Metroid that we had was on the GameCube, that's really rough. So it's a toss up for me between those two. I understand, and I think either one of those I would have been happy with. I do have to put Scruffy's in here. Scruffy says that it's Battlefield or Battlefield 2042 is his game of the year.
Okay.
The kid, I mean,
That's a mad lad.
I understand it. I get it. He is
Glad he's having fun with it.
Yeah, we've both fallen in love with that game in a way that is just
I've played
insane.
it. I've played it, and I haven't played it as much as you guys have, but I don't think that it's.
I don't think it wins Game of the Year by any means. It's by a fucking long shot. That game does not deserve Game of the Year. Now, if a category was like best Battlefield game, like yes, I think Battlefield wins
just
it.
best I think that it would have been in contention for best online game, for best multiplayer game. I think that it could have been in best contention.
Maybe.
I don't think that it would have won it, but I think it should have been present.
Maybe, but he wanted me to make sure that Battlefield 2042, and actually on next week's show or next episode that we do, I'm actually going to give him a chance to talk about that, because I do want him to express the reasons why, and I think it's important for him to explain why, for why he enjoys it, or why why he says it's the game of the year over all these other ones. But yeah, I don't know. I think
so. There you go, people. If you want to hear Scruffy's tale of the tape as to why he thinks Battlefield should be game of the year, tune in to next episode.
I also do think that Cyberpunk should have been on this list
for game of the year.
I think it's
really,
yeah, man. It's a good fucking game, dude. Like,
I don't know. See,
it's fucking rocky as shit, but it's still a good game.
Think that you and I would argue about this. I don't think that it's game of the year.
I don't think it wins. I think that it still should be nominated.
I don't even think that it should have been present. Like,
dude, if you take out the console things that happened, and we talk about
do. And
you still don't think it's okay? Hey, I get it. Okay, all right.
So.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go, guys.
Just for the fact that like.
The shit show that it is.
It delivered on experiences across all creative and technical fields. I don't think it was the absolute best.
Okay.
Hell, it didn't even perform on fields that it was meant to.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it performed well. I just don't think
PS4 disagrees.
Well, I mean, if you bought that fucking game for PS4 thinking you were gonna fucking play it, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
Jesus. All right. Well. All right, you guys are fucking dumb. There you go. Half our audience just went away.
Hey, I said that when it came out too. I was like, if you thought that was gonna run on PlayStation 4,
but at that point, it should have been on CDPR to just pull it from this.
100%. They shouldn't have released it. They should not have released that game on last gen consoles.
Yeah, they should.
Absolutely not. If anything, honest to God, I think they shouldn't have released on consoles. Period. I think it should have been a PC release.
It did
and
good
then
on consoles. It did good on the S and the PlayStation 5 Pro. It just didn't do.
PlayStation 5 Pro. It's not even PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't even exist.
Whatever it was, it was the PlayStation 4 Pro.
I bet it will do well on a PlayStation 5 Pro.
The upgraded PlayStation 4 was the one that it did okay on. It didn't do well on the base PlayStation 4.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Episode 50 is in the books. It was a long fucking episode, but rightfully so. It was number 50, and it was the Game Awards, so we kind of knew it was going to be a little bit longer. We got Bill over here yawning. It's way past his bedtime.
It is.
But for everybody,
50, bro, we need to be going to bed earlier, man.
You guys are a bunch of old timers. Me and Stevens will hold down the late night crew over here for pre-patch. Don't worry about it.
They're gonna go play Riders Republic with all the cool kids.
We are gonna go play Riders Republic. Stevens, you ready? Ready to get it's straight
boomers go.
It's straight bussin'. Sheesh. Right? Anyway, thank you guys all for being here and hanging out. We hope you enjoyed the show. Sorry that we couldn't get to questions. If you guys have your game of the years, please tweet at us at Prepatch Team, right? Prepatch Team. At Prepatch Team on Twitter. Tweet at us. Send us. We want to know what your game of the year is. So please at Prepatch Team on Twitter. Send us your tweets, or you can do it either at Sinan, at an Enigmatical Gaming or Enigmatical TV. Bill, you have a Twitter as well. Why is it not up here? It's Billy the Squid, right? Same across
Billy
everything.
_the _squid.
Yep, Billy _the _squid, SKWID, or Agent
Also,
Scruffy.
fuck Twitter.
Okay, well, fuck Twitter as well.
I
You don't. I mean, yes, fuck Twitter. I get it.
Or you could save it for the next podcast.
Yeah, you can save it for the next podcast. That's fine. But if not, you can still tweet at us. That's the easiest and quickest way of getting in touch with us. But episode 50 is in the books, guys. It's a wrap. Thank you guys all for being here. We will see you in 2 weeks, right before the new year. And then after that, it is a 2022 pre-patch podcast. So, all right, guys, we ouchie. Bye.